Engine starting along pit road. Let's go down to the starting grid and the editor of Speedway Illustrated, Dick Berggren.
Thanks, Mike. Second generation NASCAR champion driver Dale Jarrett drove his UPS car, not the truck, the car, to the pole at a speed nearly 9 miles an hour faster than the speed for the pole at the Daytona 500. Incredibly quick. Jarrett says he feels speed here at Atlanta more than at any other racetrack in the entire circuit. He knows how to handle it. He won this race back in 1997. But to win it today, he's going to have to do what so many others failed to do yesterday in the Busch race. Keep the car off the evil concrete Atlanta wall. To Steve Burns.
Dick, Bobby Labonte has crazy numbers here in Atlanta. He's won 4 times. He's been second 3 others. He's led 640 laps of competition. Today, though, he starts way back in 34th position, but Bobby Labonte fans, don't worry. A couple of years ago, he started at 37 and won the race. Matt Yoakum.
The car color may be white, the number changed, but there's no masking the desire and growing maturity of the late Dale Earnhardt's replacement, young Kevin Harvick. The 25-year-old starts 5th and only his 3rd NASCAR Winston Cup start. A yellow stripe may be on his bumper, but this rookie has handled the pressure of an impossible situation like a veteran. Today, he hopes to leave one more RCR victory mark in Atlanta, but he has to climb that mountain at his own pace. The Genie Zelasco.
Well, Matt, run as hard as you can without scaring yourself. That is the plan for the 97 car, at least according to his crew chief. According to this driver, Kurt Busch, he has no fear. The rookie said, look, this is like any other track. Like any other track, I'll keep 4 tires underneath me. The rookie is confident. So for the rookie, I guess it's a case of what you don't know can't hurt you, Mike.
That's a pretty neat seat for a fellow who 2 years ago was sitting in high school. This grandstand is packed. The infield is jammed. Here's a look at the point standings as Sterling Marlin, the only driver to score a top 10 in every race, leads. Jeff Gordon trying to get the point lead for the first time in a year. Michael Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, and back through Elliott Sadler, 10th. Get ready for some down-home Southern stock. NASCAR on Fox at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR, proud sponsor of the Bud Pole Award, given to the fastest qualifier at each Winston Cup race. Today's Bud Pole winner is Dale Jarrett. It's his 2nd in a row. Since 1979, Anheuser-Busch has awarded more than $7 million as title sponsor of the pole program. Dale Jarrett will start from the pole on our UPS starting grid, alongside Jeff Gordon, 3-time winner here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we'll have our UPS cam on board riding with Dale Jarrett today.
Todd Bodine is starting in the 3rd position, and I'll tell you, Todd has never run bad here in anything, car or Busch car or Winston Cup.
Mark Martin, 2 of his 32 career wins have come here at Atlanta.
Row 3, Kevin Harvick. Jeremy Mayfield missed driver introductions. He goes to the back of the field.
Yeah, I was going to say some nice things about Jeremy, but Jeremy, you got to go to those meetings, buddy.
Dave Blaney and Jimmy Spencer. A couple of hot rods in row 4. Good run again for Blaney. Spencer had a shot at the pole. Row 5.
Rusty Wallace, 2-time winner here at Atlanta, one of his best qualifying positions in a long time here.
There's our Miller Lite on board with Rusty Wallace. And Michael Waltrip, Daytona 500 champion. Our Napa onboard camera will be there for Michael Waltrip.
Clean them tires up, Mikey.
Row 6.
Sterling Marlin, and I believe he's going to win a race in that Dodge, and it might be today.
Ward Burton still looking for his first top finish this year.
Ron Hornaday finished a strong 9th last week in Las Vegas, and you'll be seeing these views from Hornaday's Conseco onboard camera.
Teammates have won. Michael, Park, I believe it could be time for Dale Jr. to pick him up a win.
And there's the Bud Cam on board Dale Earnhardt Jr. Johnny Benson, 4th last week in Las Vegas.
Texas Terry Labonte has started 46 consecutive races here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
I'm looking for my friend. I'm looking for one of my rowdy friends, and maybe this is the one, Bill Elliott, to have a good day.
Ricky Rudd, the Texaco Haviland on board, the 1987 race winner here. And Bill Elliott, who leads all active drivers with 5 Atlanta Motor Speedway victories. Fred Bodine has a pair of top 10 finishes here.
Ken Schrader has been a long time since he saw victory lane, but did win here in 1991. Mike Skinner leading with 20 laps to go. A year ago, engine blew up.
And the Lowe's onboard camera riding with Mike Skinner today. Steve Part, your Rockingham winner back in row 16.
And me and the odds makers, we know what we're talking about. Keep your eyes on that 18 car, boys.
Kurt Busch, the rookie, career best 11th last week at Las Vegas. And we'll have the Home Depot onboard camera riding with Tony Stewart today.
Jeff Burton still struggling in qualifying, but has 5 top 5 finishes here at Atlanta.
Elliott Sadler back in row 20, 10th in the point standings for the Wood brothers. The rest of the provisional starters include Kenny Wallace, Robbie Gordon, and Ricky Craven. 3 drivers missed driver introductions: Robbie Gordon, Jeremy Mayfield, and Kurt Busch. They will go to the tail end of the field.
And all of them are, you know, a couple of them, Jeremy and Busch, are both right up there, so that's a big blow to them.
It's reported Jeremy Mayfield is ill and was ill in his motorhome. That's why he missed driver introduction.
Man, why didn't somebody tell me? I could have been. Guys, can y'all do without me? He might need a relief driver.
325 laps, $3.2 million, including postseason award money. And the pit window today?
60 to 65 laps. Little question, do they want to stretch those tires that far the first run, but they can go this far on fuel.
Well, as Willard Scott might have told us when he fired up those engines, it's a nice day here in Atlanta.
59 degrees, the hottest it's been, but this is the one we're going to keep track of over the day. The sun's out, that track temperature is just going to keep coming up. Racetrack's going to keep getting slicker, harder to get a hold of.
Now, the cars that did not qualify for this race. Casey Atwood missed his first Winston Cup race. Rick Mast in the Hal Hicks Chevy, and Carl Long driving his own number 85 did not make the show. And throw in an extra pace lap. As you know, every race this season, to honor the memory of Dale Earnhardt, we will be silent on the 3rd lap of the race. We're hoping for the first time it will be a green flag lap. And the Speedway has joined us here at Atlanta Motor Speedway on the 3rd lap of this race. They will release 7,000 balloons, 1,000 for each of Earnhardt's Winston Cup championships. And they will ask each of the fans, some 135,000, to hold up 3 fingers in a silent salute during lap 3. In a lap, we'll be racing at what is now NASCAR's fastest track, because its 2 longest tracks, Daytona and Talladega, they use restricted engines.
Talked to a few of these guys this morning, and they're all getting kind of, they don't really like this happy hour. It could be called brunch now because they're having it about noontime. They would like to have gotten back on a racetrack after the Busch race yesterday. The groove has moved all the way out next to the wall, and they didn't have it that way when they got to practice.
Look how much corner there is here and how short a straightaway.
Man, let me tell you, you got a 1/4 mile of straightaway. That's all you got. You got 1.25 miles of turn all the way around there. That's what makes this thing so fast. Get back in the gas way over here, come all the way back over to the first turn before you ever lift. You're going to be doing 200 miles an hour when you run down into turn 1, and it is breathtaking.
See these suites here? This was the front straightaway. This was the start-finish line. In 1997, instead of tearing all that down and replacing it, this is now the back straightaway. And what was the backstretch with no seats or suites has been totally reconfigured as the front straightaway.
Well, I like the suites, but I wish they'd have left the track alone. Because once they changed it, it changed everything.
Since they reconfigured this racetrack, Bobby Labonte and Jeff Gordon have been the men to beat.
Well, Bobby Labonte, I'm telling you, he's going to be fun to watch. He won't blow through the field. He'll ease his way up through there. But before this day's over with, you'll be saying, where did he come from? Just like we did at Rockingham.
Today's telecast is going to 60 countries around the world.
Have I made my point about that yet?
It's big. Fans at the ready, we hope you're at the ready with NASCAR on Fox getting set for round 4 of the Winston Cup Series.
Pace cars off, boys. Reach up and pull on them belts one more time. Come to the green flag.
Feet. Here we go, guys. It's going to be a big one.
Green flag. We're racing in Atlanta.
Good clean start. Everybody got away. Nobody wobbling, bobbling, or anything. right off the bat to go 3 wide down the back.
Look at Harvick at that 29. What a little hot rod he is.
Well, he's got 300 miles of practice. He was out there all day yesterday, so he kind of knows what to expect.
And he comes up for second place to Dale Jarrett in lap 1.
That Hendrick horsepower is pulling him down at the front straightaway, though. And I'm sure he'll probably give Jeffy a little room to get down in there.
There, we'll see him running even 3 and 4 grooves up the racetrack. Harvick gets a real good run off turn 2 right there. But when the tires are fresh, got good grip, they'll tend to want to run around the bottom of this racetrack.
Everybody's just kind of feeling their car out right now. Low air pressure. Track's a little dirty from setting overnight.
Todd Bodine hunting a hole in between those two cars. It's not there, not quite wide enough.
Oh, trouble, guys. Jerry Nadeau. Jerry Nadeau, and here they go through the grass.
Got Robert Presley sliding through the infield there in the 77. Gets stopped before he gets to the pits.
And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but we're coming up on lap 3.
This is the
third
lap.
week in a row.
Well, for the third week in a row, lap 3 is a caution lap. Let's show you what happened to Jerry Nadeau, number 25.
What happened coming off of turn 4 down here, coming down into the tri-oval, and normally what happens there is somebody gets under somebody and they get together. See if we can see what happened back in here. No, I believe Nadeau's out there all by himself. Maybe got up in some of that loose stuff that we saw the Busch cars get in yesterday. Here we go. Yep, he was all by himself, spun around, went down in the grass, and man, watch these cats here. They're coming 180 mile an hour right through the grass, Larry.
Let's see Michael Waltrip's view.
Boy, Robert Presley in the 77 just missed Jerry Nadeau.
They did the Tennessee waltz right there in the infield.
Ooh.
Looks like he might have come down on Michael. Michael got in his left rear just a little bit, but Jerry come down on Michael.
Well, that's why our drivers hate in-car cameras.
From Ron Hornaday. Caution is out, and about 12 cars toward the back of the field are going to make pit stops. We'll come back and recap them in a moment.
NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, presented by UPS on Fox, is brought to you by Dodge and the UAW. By Kellogg's, the official breakfast food of NASCAR. By Pep Boys, cars like us, people love us. And by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you.
Welcome back from Rusty Wallace's camera. There's the contact.
Yeah, Michael, he didn't cut Nadeau much slack there. We got a green flag. We're back racing.
Kevin Harvick on the outside here, going into turn 1, trying to get that lead from Dale Jarrett in the 88 car. Gets a good run up off the corner right there, Darrell.
He did, and boy, Jarrett had to
look at Jeff Gordon all the way to the bottom.
Jarrett seemed like he had a problem coming up out of that turn, and I think that the 29 car messed the air up over his spoiler and caused him to get loose.
Kevin Harvick, 25 years old, out of Bakersfield, California, expected to run the whole Busch Series this year, and he will. He'll also run the whole Winston Cup season.
You know, something it always amazes me is how hard these guys will race right from the green flag. It's like, let's get in line, let's get settled down a little bit. They start 3-widening it and pushing and banging into each other as soon as the flag comes out.
Here comes Sterling Marlin in that number 40 Dodge. He's wasted no time working to the front. He started 12th. and Todd Bodine, who picked up another top 5 finish, though not a win yesterday. Todd in that 66 right up there.
And he did it in that groove. He was running right there, about 2 lanes up the racetrack yesterday.
Some of those guys that run the Busch race yesterday, Michael, Todd, and a couple others, Harvick, they're all going to be looking for that top groove because that's what was working yesterday.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., little bump and run on Ron Hornaday there.
Very impatient. That's all I can tell you. They're all impatient. I don't know where they think they're going. I mean, we got 3.5 hours of racing here, guys. Come on, keep the fenders on them anyway.
Back up front, Jeff Gordon draws a bead on Kevin Harvick.
The car Kevin Harvick is driving, the 29 car, that was a brand new car in November. Dale Earnhardt finished 2nd here in Atlanta in the fall race.
You know, that's got to be, golly, that's got to be a thrill, driving that car, leading the race, and it's only his 3rd start in that car. I mean, this kid is for real.
I think so far, Darrell, he's met everyone's expectation and then some.
Oh, he's exceeded mine. I thought that the pressure of jumping in that car and having to work with the Winston Cup team for the first time, it might be more than the young guy was ready for. But let me tell you, he's got all 6 barrels loaded.
And those two are getting away from the 3rd place battle. Also, Mark Martin on the move, pulling up on Joe Nemechek. This is for 7th place.
This could be a Mark Martin racetrack. A lot of guys are going to have to go to the top. He'll hang around the bottom. And there goes some 40 in the 66 right there. And then 93, they got a good race going right here for 4th place.
What keeps happening right here, Sterling running the bottom groove in the 40 car, but Todd Bodine gets that run off the corner on the high side, gets the lead back before they get to the next corner.
So Todd vaults to 3rd place.
See that 40 car lunge forward? He just gets back into gas a little quicker, but he runs out of room.
Look at Dave Blaney in the 93 car right there. He's going to take advantage of these guys racing side by side.
UPS Cam on board Dale Jarrett right behind them.
Surprisingly, Dale Jarrett on the start jumped way out there, but he's had to work his way back up after that last restart.
All right, this is coming off turn 2, looking out Dale Jarrett's car. See 8,300, 8,400, 186, almost 187 miles an hour, off the throttle just a little bit. Bam! Right back in the gas right there.
Wide open from right there all the way back around to here. That's where you run the thing wide open.
Running 160 miles an hour in the middle of the corner off the throttle.
Off the throttle. And they know, and then you wonder why it takes a brave young man to run this joint.
On the point, Kevin Harvick, the rookie. Right behind him, the man who's trying to extend his win streak to 2, Jeff Gordon. There is the gap back to the 3rd place car. It's almost 2 seconds.
One of the guys I drove for one time, I asked him, how do you pick a driver? He said, I like a driver in his late 29s or early 30s.
Bobby Labonte sneaking underneath Kyle Petty. Remember, Labonte started back in 34th position. Right now they're battling for 23rd.
Imagine that. I talked to Bobby. The reason I talk about him so much, I talked to him this morning. He was in the pre-race show down at Hollywood Hotel. And he was telling me, he said, watch me, DW. I'm going to be good today. You can put your money on me.
How about Ricky Craven in the 32 car right there? Started dead last, already worked his way up to 25th. Right on the bottom of the racetrack.
That team has had some impressive runs. I mean, the run he had at Rockingham, he did have a oil leak problem there at Las Vegas, but he looks good again today.
On board the Home Depot Cam with Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte's teammate.
I talked to Greg Cimpadelli, Tony Stewart's crew chief, and he had the same comments as so many crew chiefs had. It's like we can get the thing turning good in turn 2. Front end biting, but it's too loose in 3 and 4. If we get it tightened up in 3 and 4, it won't turn in turn 2.
Well, see, that's what I've been trying to tell you. That's what I tried to tell my crew chief. They said, how can that be? I said, I don't know. You fix it.
Jimmy Spencer on the move.
I love it when the crew chiefs say, tell me what it's doing. Tell me what it's doing. I'll fix it. Then you tell them, they say, well, what? I don't understand that.
And here from the Pfizer Viagra Cam, Mark Martin trying to pull down on Spencer, but he's got Joe Nemechek gathering ground on the outside.
Nemechek, our winner from yesterday's race, and he's right up there where he was yesterday.
Look how soon he was back in the throttle. How much that car lunged right there.
Whoa, don't look back. Man.
Now they've got company. Dale Jarrett, or rather Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Rusty Wallace have caught them. Back up front, Gordon for now seems content to pace himself with Kevin Harvick.
Just on a little Sunday drive.
17 laps completed at Atlanta. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. Welcome back to Atlanta. More than 120,000 people here, and they've just seen all the front four positions change. For the lead moments ago, Jeff Gordon. Bobbled by Kevin Harvick up the racetrack. That's all Gordon needed.
Yeah, he just got back in the gas. He's got a full head of steam. All of a sudden, the car pushes a little bit. Front end bites. Back end comes around. Got to get out of the gas and regroup.
He was ready to jump in the gas, but the car wasn't quite ready.
Wasn't quite ready.
Gordon is the first driver to lead in each of the first four races this year. Next weekend, Darlington.
Well, if these guys are running this high in Atlanta up against the fence, they'll be out by that old cafeteria, that little restaurant, come next week. They'll be outside the track.
The cars will be out in the Hall of Fame before they're ready to go to the Hall of Fame. Also, Dale Jarrett got past Sterling Marlin. That will change third and fourth. For more on Marlin's car, Dick Bergman.
10 Dodges entered this event today. Only 2 of the 10 chose to run in older race cars. Sterling Marlin, currently running in 4th spot, was one of those. Rather than take a brand new race car, which is available to him, he selected the car that he ran last week in Las Vegas. That car led 34 laps, finished in 3rd spot. Sterling is one of the more superstitious drivers. He finds a deal that works for him. He sticks with it. He may run this car all year, Mike.
Might well be.
Well, that's not a bad thing. I mean, you get a car that drives the way you want it to. You know, you just get down in one of them. You sit down in the seat, the pedal, and everything feels right. You like that car. Driver's happy. Car goes good.
12th place battle here. Rusty Wallace, John Andretti.
How about the 17 car right there? Matt Kenseth started 38, has already moved up to 12th. Had a little present yesterday, turned 29 years old.
Jeannie?
You got another present this morning, guys, out there at that early contact. He has some damage to the right front part of his car, but they decided not to pit because it wasn't causing any problems with airflow.
Kenseth and Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 2 drivers who battled for last year's Rookie of the Year honors. Kenseth prevailed. They both won races. And here they are as sophomores.
You know, that damage she was talking about to these front fenders on these cars, sometimes you pull them way out to get front grip, get more downforce. Sometimes you knock them in a little bit and the car actually ends up driving better.
See, he run on the high side all the way down the back straightaway, got that run off in the corner and just maintain his speed. He's all the way up against the gray stuff. You don't want to be up in that gray stuff quite yet because you will get into the wall.
There's a telemetry in on Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Going off into turn 1 right there, about 8,500 RPMs, right here in the middle of the corner, back to the throttle, 159 miles an hour, right in the middle of the corner, wide open throttle onto the backstretch.
What little there is. That backstretch goes by in a hurry at 190 miles an hour.
You see, you turn about 200 or 300 less RPMs on the backstretch, Dale, because it's so much shorter distance.
Side by side, Joe Nemechek up alongside Rusty Wallace now. Wallace going to make that pass to the inside. Yes, and clears him. Remember last week, Rusty Wallace in Las Vegas, a very short memory of that race as he and teammate Jeremy Mayfield got together, got turned around.
Come in there leading the points, left there out of the top 10. John Andretti in the 43 car all the way at the bottom.
What? Boy, watch this. Terry Labonte, Park, Bobby Hamilton.
Ooh, just getting in there.
I'm telling you, they've been sliding in front of you. They've been putting a slide job on each other for the last 3 or 4 laps.
It's called a controlled slide.
Yeah, well, it's called please let me in. If you don't, we're going to wreck.
When you get away with it, it's a controlled slide.
There you go.
Steve Park made the move. And now here comes Jeremy Mayfield right on the bottom of the racetrack.
Remember, had to go to the rear of the field because he missed his driver's meeting. This is a battle right here for 26.
And not only, don't forget this, he pitted on that early caution and took tires on, so his tires are going to be a little fresher than those other guys.
Riding with the Haviland cam on Ricky Rudd's number 28. You see the serial score. Rudd has done it mainly on the bottom of the racetrack. In fact, I've seen him under the white line a couple of times trying to pass cars.
Well, the bottom would be a really comfortable place to run because there ain't nobody there.
See right there, halfway down the backstretch, he had to backpedal or he was going to run over these guys. Just got that good a run up off turn 2.
Oh, you definitely get a little draft down the back. And the 32 car, buddy, let me tell you, he's doing it again this week, that cat right there. He did it at Rockingham. He got up in that high groove, and he's doing it again.
19th position right now, all the way from 43rd in 31 laps.
When you have a car that's handling pretty good and other guys are struggling a little bit, man, you can just make up so much time.
And what happens, you can make a motor look so good down the straightaway because you're back in the throttle 8 car lengths before your competitor.
Well,
and the motor guy's going to go, well, what's wrong with my motor? Well, he beat you back to the gas about 10 car lengths.
All you're doing is making the straightaway longer. When you get back in the gas, you just make that straightaway that much longer. Like I said, they got 800 horsepower if you hold it wide open.
Jeff Gordon leading Kevin Harvick by 1.2 seconds. Dale Jarrett is another 1.4 seconds back. Sterling Marlin is settled in 4th, and Todd Bodine is in 5th. We've completed 33 laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is NASCAR on Fox.
NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, presented by UPS on Fox, is brought to you by UPS, the official delivery company of NASCAR. We want to race the truck. People love the truck.
Welcome back to NASCAR Winston Cup Racing on Fox. Today we're at Atlanta Motor Speedway, presented by UPS. It's the Cracker Barrel Old Country Store 500.
Matt Kentz is right now is the fastest car on the racetrack. He's up to 5th place. He's actually running faster lap times than Jeff Gordon is.
Here's the man they're trying to run down, picking up right where he left off, leaving Las Vegas. A 2.1 second lead on Harvick.
Okay, but just remember what I tell you about as a driver. You want to know where everybody is. Here comes Jeff Gordon off turn 4, and we're going to use the start-finish line as our reference point. They will tell me wherever I am on the racetrack, they'll say the leader's at the line now, and that gives me a reference point.
Let's check with Steve Burns.
At the top of the show, we heard Larry McReynolds say these drivers can go about 60 laps on a fuel run, but look how many tires are down here in Kevin Harvick's pits. They're going to want tires before they get gas. 11 sets of tires mounted up here. Guys, there's $15,000 worth of Goodyear tires mounted up for Kevin Harvick.
When the track's this slick and it's hot, caution comes out, everybody's going to be to pit road getting 4 tires. It don't matter how many laps you've run.
The good news is you got 11 sets. Bad news is you need 15. You got to go back and get some more.
Harvick's trying to get his first Winston Cup victory in only his 3rd career start. Now that's happened 4 times in NASCAR history. Bill Norton, Bob Flock, Johnny Mance, and Gordon in 63.
Here comes my leader right now. He's at the line. That's our reference point. Now I'm going to show you how far behind Harvick is. 2 seconds behind. Here comes the next place. Todd Bodine just went by. He's 6 seconds behind. There goes Jimmy Spencer. He's 11 seconds behind. So right now, Jeff Gordon is probably in about the middle of the back straightaway. So that's what the drivers listen for. He's at the line now, then you know exactly where your track position is and what you got to do to catch up or hold on to what you got.
What they're telling Matt Kentz is you're catching the leader. You just keep doing what you're doing. You just keep being smooth because he's about a 1/10 of a second faster. There you see almost a mile an hour faster than Jeff Gordon, who's leading the race.
I just can't help believe that those guys that ran yesterday don't have somewhat of an advantage for today.
Now there is the interval over the last 5 laps, and you see how Matt Kenseth is knocking it down. He's knocked 0.6 of a second out of Jeff Gordon's lead in the last 5 laps.
And he's running right up next to that wall, and there's Ricky Craven putting a move on Rusty Wallace.
Battle for 12th.
They go off into turn 3. They both go up a little bit up near the wall. Right in the middle, you're all the way there. And who gets back in the gas first? Rusty did. See that gap open up a little bit?
You know, if Craven's crowd ever figures out how to qualify as well as they're racing, they're going to be something.
Well, I think he and Mike Beam are just working on things. You know, there's a new combination there. I bet you before the year's over, they'll figure the qualifying and the racing out.
43 laps complete here in Atlanta. Jeff Gordon continues to lead Kevin Harvick. You're watching NASCAR Winston Cup Racing on Fox, presented by UPS. Next week, NASCAR on Fox goes to America's most storied superspeedway, Darlington. All on Saturday, Winston Cup qualifying on Fox Sports Net, the NASCAR Busch Series on FX, and then Winston Cup final practice follows on FX. Sunday, NASCAR This Morning and NASCAR Victory Lane on the net. The NASCAR Carolina Dodge Dealers 400 live on Fox, 12:30 Eastern Time. Here in Atlanta, pit stops have begun. Brett Bodine has been in. Jeff Gordon remains out front over Kevin Harvick, Sterling Marlin, Matt Kenseth up to 4th, and 5th place Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, he's starting to lap some of the cars at the back of the field. These guys here.
How about Jerry Nadeau was in that first spin a while ago in the 25 car. He's already moved back up to 17th position there, going underneath Ricky Rudd in the 28 car. Didn't really hit nothing when he spun. Come back in, got 4 tires, back out there, at it again.
But I think that's the key, Larry. It's the 4 tires. Even though that was 4 or 5 laps into the race, he got 4 tires on. He's got 4, 5, maybe 6 laps advantage on some of these other cars.
And I talked to his substitute crew chief, Gordon Gibbs, because Tony Furr, he's got a few more races before he can come back after that suspension at Daytona. This is the same car they won with in November, but he said, we just, like Greg Cianfrocco and Tony Stewart, we just can't get the balance between the 2 ends of the racetrack.
Well, I tell you right now, he got off of turn 4 real well, and he passed 3 cars in one swoop there. So they're going to the front. He's running around the bottom. Looks like the car's handling good. He's not fighting with it. Got his hands nice and smooth. He just waved to John Andretti. Thank you for letting me by, John. See you later.
Nadeau, the most recent of 4 drivers to pick up their first Winston Cup victory on this speedway.
When you can get down on the bottom like that right there, you can really pass a lot of people if you can get back in the throttle.
I can add, guys, yesterday when I talked to Jerry Nadeau, he was telling me about the same thing that Larry did. They came here with the exact same setup they'd won the race with and run so good here, but this new tire, they had to take every bit of that stuff and throw it back in the truck and start all over again. And what they've been able to do is find out that, hey, put a little bit more right front spring in this thing, a little bit smaller front bar than what normally they'd run, and it really works out really well for them.
Gordon is our leader here, Jeff Gordon. He's having a heck of a time with Robert Presley there. He caught him, but he hadn't been able to get around him. Again, that's one of the cars that had to pit a little early because he spun through the. I believe you see the difference there. Now Gordon's down under him, but he hadn't been able to make that pass.
Presley in the 77 gets that run off turn 4. He's just trying to stay on the lead lap as they come up on Kyle Petty in the 45 car. Robert Presley comes into this race 8th in the points, the highest he's ever been in his career.
He and Kyle in the 45 trying to stay on the lead lap.
And you see that high line, he gets just enough momentum off of the turn that he pulls right back ahead of Gordon. Gordon will drive up to him right into the turn, but he drives off of there a little better.
Robbie Gordon made a pit stop. Here's Ricky Craven on pit road.
Well, these pit stops are going to be oh so critical. That in and out time.
Johnny Benson's in. Steve Park is also in.
And this is one of the few crews that's wearing all helmets. You see tire changers, everybody's wearing helmets, Matt Yoakum.
He goes to work on the right front. A 4th tire stop for Johnny Benson. He said his car was a little tight there, going to adjust with air pressure. Second can is in, and he's down and away to Genie's Alaska.
Well, Saturday was Matt's birthday. The Jackman, Jeff Vanderboss's birthday as well. How they celebrate preparing for today's race. And they took a half-pound out of the right rear and crushed the grill here in this stop.
Terry Labonte is in. Also Mike Wallace making pit stops under the green. And Kevin Harvick comes back after the lead.
The reason for that, Mike, is Gordon can't get around that 77 car. He's tried him high, low, every way. He can't get around him. That held him up. And that allowed the 29 car to catch back up.
Johnny Benson scoots away. He's on fresh tires. He should run away from that group.
Not just right out of the picture is Sterling Marlin, who is catching up.
Rusty Wallace is in. Elliott Sadler has made his pit stop.
But I'm Robbie Loomis, Jeff Gordon's crew chief, and what I've told Jeff, look, we're a handful of laps from coming in the pits. Just don't get yourself in trouble, that 77 car. Let's just be cool here, be smooth. We'll be in here and get us 4 tires here shortly.
But I'm screaming, but he's holding me up. Go talk to his spotter. Tell him to get him out of my way.
Pole sitter Dale Jarrett comes in. Ward Burton, Mark Martin, John Andretti, Bobby Labonte.
Here they come.
And here come the leaders.
Bad time to pit, guys. Bad time.
Steve Burns.
Jarrett in. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. The catch can man, Rick Colson, is the one that's going to make that adjustment. 4 tires for Dale Jarrett. Mike Trower on the front tires. Kevin Gilman on the rear tires. Dale Jarrett is down. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Jeff Gordon already is installed. Shane Church and Todd Gann, the tire changers, already going to work. Young Steve Letarte coming around. He did make a chassis adjustment as he helps index the left rear tire. Second can in, down and away to Dick Berggren.
Sterling Marlin also in for 4 tires. They're very pleased with their race car. No major changes in the car. 16-second pit stop to Steve.
Kevin Harvick just made his stop. No adjustments to the number 29. They changed 4 tires, and he's off of pit road.
Pit stops continue. Jerry Nadeau comes in. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Joe Nemechek, Tony Stewart, Michael Waltrip. Now, when you see where Nadeau pits, or there's Tony Stewart, his crew getting service, routine stop. When Nadeau comes to a halt, right behind him is Jeff Gordon's pit. Gordon was the second team to pick a pit stall. So they picked a spot just in front of an opening so Jeff could get in cleanly. And they put another Hendrick car, Nadeau, right in front of him. Open space, Gordon, and by pitting Nadeau there, they won't pit him at the same time as Gordon, and Jeff will be able to get in and out clean. That's by design.
A bad time to pit because so many cars come on pit road at the same time. If I'd have had my spotter or my crew chief, I would have not come in that lap. I'd have made one more lap.
You know, at Daytona and Talladega, you always want to pit with people because you don't want to lose that draft. Anywhere else, including here in Atlanta, the best scenario is be on pit road by yourself, no traffic to deal with.
Hey, you let the dogs out. The new leader's Kenny Schrader.
Look at this. The 40 just drove right around the outside of the 24 car, Gordon, and he's motoring right along. And he was in 3rd place when we went to when everybody started making their pit stops.
All right, Schrader's going to pit and give up the lead. So Mike Skinner, you're riding in the Lowe's cam with Skinner. Schrader just in front of him as they come down pit road.
6 away, 4 away, right here.
That was Royce McGee, the crew chief, counting Mike down. When you look down, a driver looks down pit road, all you see is a bunch of signs, so you kind of count yourself down. 10 away, 5 away, 2 away, you're here.
Robert Presley has picked up the lead.
Imagine that. I mean, he was holding off the leader just a few minutes ago.
All the way out. Tim, you got him.
Ford, just stay wide there. What you see?
And now Presley will come in.
Boy, right now is when ins and outs are so crucial. How quickly you get to the end of pit road and how quickly you get back out on the racetrack.
Everybody has to run the same speed down pit road. It's 45 miles an hour. It's how you get through 3 and 4. Getting on the pit road can really make a difference.
Yeah, everybody makes fast stops, but you know what? I could literally stand up here now. I didn't think you could. Watch this race right here. The 40 and the 24 are having at it right now.
For the lead. Marlin just shoves it into the lead.
And he used Jeremy Mayfield in the 12 as a pick there.
So Sterling Marlin, who coulda, woulda, shoulda won Las Vegas, and is the only driver to finish in the top 10. There's Chief Tony Glover as we go to break with Sterling Marlin leading into Dodge. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
NASCAR Winston Cup Racing presented by UPS on Fox is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Napa, we keep America running.
'67 laps complete here at Atlanta. Jeff Gordon back into the lead over Sterling Marlin. Kevin Harvick continues to hold tough in 3rd. And another young gun, Matt Kenseth, in 4th.
But Sterling Marlin, he accomplished what he needed to accomplish right there. He got him 5 bonus points for leading a lap. You lead just 1 lap, it's 5 bonus points. Adds up at the end of the year.
Here's how the lead changed hands.
Watch this. Up on that high side.
Jeff Gordon hooking that white line in that 4 car.
When Sterling went up, here he comes.
Does Michael Waltrip have a problem, Steve?
Mike, I just walked into the pits and asked some of the crew members. They think he's got a broken shock, and that would explain why that car will not handle.
And that could have happened when he made contact with Nadeau early on. He bent that right front fender up pretty good. And he could have done some damage to his chassis.
Heavy traffic for race leader Jeff Gordon. Stacy Compton, Kurt Busch, Mike Skinner.
Hole wasn't quite big enough.
That's when the spotter earned his money right there.
Looking back from Mike Skinner's Lowe's cam and race leader Jeff Gordon.
It's going down the backstretch right here, off into turn 3. Skinner goes to the low side. There you see Jeff Gordon going to the high side.
Now, all right, let me tell you, we were talking about ins and outs. This is when the crew chief says, hustle, hustle, hustle to the end of pit road and hustle, hustle out. Look how much quicker, say, Sterling Marlin. He got the lead, and right there is why. He got in and out quicker. That's from the beginning of pit lane back to the start-finish line. Gordon didn't do a bad job, but Sterling beat him in and out, and that's how he got the lead for that couple of 3 laps.
So Gordon now leads by 0.6 of a second. Harvick another 2.5 back. He has about a second on Matt Kenseth.
Bill Elliott in the 9 car right there trying to go to the bottom side, get back on the lead lap while Jeff Gordon's fighting all these other cars. There's Sterling Marlin in second place right now, catching Jeff while he's fighting these guys.
Dick Berggren.
So far, the best finish a Dodge has earned in this brand new season has been a 3rd. That was Sterling Marlin last week at Las Vegas. 3rd is pretty incredible for a manufacturer that's been gone as long as Dodge, but they may have their best shot right here. This morning, I talked with Louis Duncan, who is an aerodynamicist for several of the Chevrolet teams, and he was just shaking his head. He said, you know, the nose of that Dodge looks just like a bullet, and they've got lots of downforce in the front. That helps them get in the corners and helps them get through them as well. Dodge may make it today. Let's go to Matt.
2 laps ago, Dick, Tom Bodine in the 66 car came on radio to his crew chief Larry Carter asking, is there any wood in the frame rails because something is burning? There is a little bit of smoke in the car. 1 lap ago, he came on and said, I think there's a hole in the tailpipe. It's burning stuff underneath the floor, and my feet are very, very hot.
Now, what he's talking about, why would there be wood in the frame rails? These cars have to weigh 3,400 pounds. We have to put lead in the frame rails to make it up to 3,400 pounds, somewhere around 200 to 300 pounds. Sometimes the frame rail's so long, you don't need that much lead. You space it where it can't go back and forth with wood. We had this happen one time with Davey Allison, and he said it was like a chimney with smoke coming out, so everybody started going to aluminum spacers.
Let's let you folks with surround sound crank it up for a bit. Darrell, there are more different lines around this racetrack than there are secret escape routes to the airport.
I'm telling you, it's the cars are running everywhere. And my man, Bobby Labonte, I'm going to find out how good his car is before we get to the end of the race, because he's about 6 seconds from getting lapped.
This is a battle for 20th. What we got to remember, the 99, the biggest thing they'd like to do today is be running at the end with all 4 fenders and tires on. He has wrecked the last 2 weeks. One of the favorites coming into this 2001 season to be the champion, but they got a lot of ground to make up.
There's 2 drivers that led the points at the end of last season, and this year they're hanging on by their fingernails just to stay on the lead lap. What's happened?
It's them tars, different tars.
The biggest problem they got is that blue and orange 24 right there. He's only about seconds behind these guys.
That's them flames on that one. It's the tars on them others, the flames on that one.
We've completed 78 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Jeff Gordon continues to lead Sterling Marlin and Kevin Harvick.
NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, presented by UPS on Fox, is brought to you by Conseco, by Yamaha, makers of fine motorcycles and ATVs. Nobody's more in tune with motorsports than Yamaha. By Labor Ready, dependable, temporary labor guaranteed. And by McDonald's, we love to see you smile.
The second placers are when our producers.
Welcome back to Atlanta. Steve Parks' engine has let go, and he brings out the caution for the second time today and makes that hard left into the garage. Now, just prior to that, Elliott Sadler made an unscheduled pit stop and went a lap down. Michael Waltrip came into pit road but kept going to try to avoid going a lap down when his teammate's engine let loose. Riding along with Michael there.
I'm not sure if it's shocked. Let's come in and change right sides first. Pull the rubber.
And Jeff Gordon leads them around under caution behind the safety car. First caution was at lap 2. Jerry Nadeau and Michael Waltrip got together. Nadeau spun through the infield grass. And this is the second caution coming at lap 83.
There's a lot of conversation going on right now about what they're going to do to their cars. What are they going to do? They take spring rubbers out. They're going to make track bar adjustments, air pressure adjustments. Lots and lots and lots of things are going to happen on this set of pit stops.
Yeah, they'll definitely be on pit road for 4 tires. This is the first time they've had a chance to kind of slow down and tell the crew chief what's going on in the first stop under caution, where you can do a little adjusting without worrying about a green flag stop. Here come the leaders to pit road, 45 miles an hour, starting right there.
That's when the crew chief tells you, slow down, man. I can't do all those things at one time.
There's your triple split pit box with the first 3 drivers, top to bottom. Matt?
The 24 car on the top of your screen, Jeff Gordon and crew chief Robbie Loomis were talking about what changes to make on this 24 car. They discussed a track bar adjustment, but I did not see the handle going in the back window. Looks like just air pressure for the 24. Dick Berggren.
Sterling Marlin pits out of second position. He is running just a little bit tight up high. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt Jr. went over his pit line. He had to back the car up. That'll be a slow pit stop. To Steve.
Kevin Harvick's down and away right behind Dale Jarrett. Harvick made no adjustments to his car. Dale Jarrett said, I'm still a little bit tight in the center. Let's make another track bar adjustment, Dick Berggren.
Earnhardt Jr. finally gets away. That's a very difficult thing to have happen. He has got to get the car in the box. If it's out of the box and they work on the car, it's a 1-lap penalty, so they had to push him back. Very costly pit stop for Earnhardt Jr.
Tony Eury there on the horn to Dale Jr. 7 different leaders, 8 lead changes. Thus far, a very competitive race, but little agreement on what line to run around this racetrack. We'll be right back. After pit stops, Jeff Gordon. Again, your leader, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jarrett, Sterling Marlin came out 4th, Matt Kenseth 5th, Rusty Wallace. The way they're running as we're getting set to go back to green.
Oh, Dave Blaney's hanging right in there.
And trouble for Michael Waltrip.
That's not the way you want to see your hood.
Steve?
Mike, as I reported earlier, they thought they had a broken shock. They just had the hood up. Then they thought they had a flat tire. We'll check with crew chief Scott Eggleston to find out exactly what the problem is for Michael Waltrip.
Started into 3.
I'll tell you what, I've run here so many times when I said I got a broken ratchet in the gear. I've got a tire. This track will throw you more curves than any track I've ever been to.
Gordon came out where he came in. Kevin Harvick picked up a spot, as did Dale Jarrett. Sterling Marlin lost 2, and Matt Kenseth gained 13 spots on pit road, according to that graphic. Getting set for green. Here we go. That was Bill Elliott trying to get a lap back, but had no luck.
And we got us a new race, guys. Load them up, set them up, let's go again. Everybody's worked on them, got 4 fresh tires, just like we're starting all over again. Let's see who comes out on top this time.
You see all the capes flowing from the back of those spoilers? They're all Superman now with new tires, right?
Them stickers on. And they've made adjustments. They've tightened them bad boys up. Now you can gas her and go. Saw that yesterday. Nemechek come in, took a rubber out of the right rear, won the race.
88 laps complete here. We've had 8 lead changes, 7 different leaders. Jeff Gordon has led 65 laps. Kevin Harvick 12. Dale Jarrett, the pole sitter, has led but 6 laps. Sterling Marlin, Robert Presley, Jason Leffler, and Kenny Schrader have each had a turn at the front spot.
Dale Jarrett in the 88 car there went by Kevin Harvick for the 2nd position, so he's back on the move again. This is looking out the front of his car. That's Bill Elliott there in the red number 9, trying to get that lap back.
Yeah, a caution flag is just like calling timeout. Gives you time to go in and set up a few plays, make some changes, and go again.
Now for more on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s stop, here's Dick.
Tony Eury came by the number 40 team and expressed his displeasure at the way the pit stop had gone. It was Eury's position that the tire for the right front on the number 40 Sterling Marlin's car had been left in the way, and that's the reason that Earnhardt missed his pit. But they replayed that pit stop here in Marlin's pit. Front tire changer, Darren Wolf looked at it twice. He said, hey, nothing wrong with that one. Eury's back on his box, they're back on theirs.
And that's why you'd rather have that teammate pitting next to you instead of that adversary.
Sometimes that can be good, sometimes that can be bad. Yep. Sometimes you get to competing against each other.
I don't know how they know what.
Look at Kurt Busch all the way against the wall there getting in turn 3.
Steve, did you find out on Michael Waltrip?
Sure did. Mike spoke to Steve Meal. He said the problem is it's a broken bump stop on the left front jack screw. That's what made it feel like a broken shock. So they backed the screw back out on that left front corner to help Michael get the handle on that race car.
Today's Pep Boys Trivia. Dale Jarrett's won 2 poles in a row. Who was the last driver to win 3 consecutive Bud poles? A hand in the crowd. Anybody? Anybody at all? Anybody with the answer? Here's a hint.
Bill Elliott.
He's right on your screen.
Bill Elliott.
Jeff Gordon.
Thank you. 1996, Charlotte, Dover, and Pocono, 3 in a row. Matt?
Larry McReynolds touched on it earlier that Jeff Gordon develops an aero push if he is behind another car. He built up the pressures in the right front on the last run when he got behind the 31 car, so he is trying to stay out in front of the 88 if he can, because that's where his car handles best.
And what's going on there, these cars are so aero dependent, so downforce dependent. Look at Dale Jarrett in the 88 car now. He's trying to get up there and get in front of Jeff Gordon. You've got downforce pushing on that front end when you're in clean air, but when you're following a car, that car takes the downforce off and the car won't want to turn.
But our Rockingham winner is out of the race early. Here's Jeannie.
Well, what is wrong with this picture? Steve Park is not in a fire suit. The engine blown. Can you feel it coming?
No, not at all. The Pennzoil Chevrolet was running good. We were up there in the top 10 like we wanted to be, and just all of a sudden the engine just let go. No warning, no nothing. So we're just really disappointed. We had a decent race car today. We had something that we could work with there towards the end, and just tried to kind of stay near the top 10 so we could get through a couple more of these pit stops, but just wasn't meant to be today.
Steve Park with concerns about the tires and maybe the lack of grip coming into today, but you're nothing without an engine, guys.
You're nothing without the lead. Here comes Dale Jarrett for it.
I love this shot. This is cool, man. That's how close together we get. They go high and low. Watch them come together. Got the momentum off of turn 2, heading down the back.
Steve Park came in here 5th in points and will drop out of the top 10.
We're down here in the middle of 3 and 4 now. Here we come, coming around turn 4, starting down toward the start-finish line. Gordon's got a good head of steam. He's running a little higher line. And let me tell you, this cat right here, Dave Blaney, he is on the move. He started back at about 8th place. He's already up to 3rd, up to 4th. He's going by Harvick. That old Dodge is trucking along pretty good, boys.
He was 6th on the restart, and I would have to say that Bill Davis team right there with Dave Blaney gets the most improved award for the season so far. Matt.
3 top 10s for Dave Blaney in the 93 car in his last 6 Winston Cup starts. He's been complaining about all morning and afternoon about his car being a little tight. They have adjusted. His spotter, Rocky Ryan, keeps cheering him on. Go get him, go get him. Keeping that adrenaline going, trying to move him up to the lead.
There's the sequence of Blaney moving up to 3rd place. Well, here we go again. 2 different thoughts on how to get the lead and how to hold it.
It's like for a few laps, he moved up to the high side with Jeff Gordon. Now he's back to the bottom, Darrell.
Figure this, it's shorter around the bottom, but it's faster around the top. get more momentum, carry speed off of that corner. Coming off of turn 2 here. Back in the gas. Going to tuck in behind Jeff Gordon and get a little suck off of him, get a little pull. Here we go down into turn 3. Gordon goes high up next to the wall. Jarrett stays sort of in the middle. He wants to hunt the bottom. Guy back in the gas. That wall gets mighty. Whoa, man, it gets close right there. Across that start-finish line. See him close up ever so slightly from the little bit of draft he gets. A little bumpy right here. Bam, bam. Makes the car move up the hill a little bit. Not as far as Jeff Gordon is. As you can see, come off there and you're right out next to that wall.
Darrell, it's almost like when the tires was fresh right after the pit stop, Dale Jarrett was hugging that bottom. Now that we've done got 10 or 15 laps on these tires, he's starting to move up the racetrack with Jeff Gordon. A little easier on those tires up there.
Well, the thing about it is both these cars here, these will be 2 guys that will run great next weekend at Darlington, too. And they're getting a lot of practice today running up next to that wall. And you see Jarrett starting to ease that thing right on up there, and you'll see him close right back up when he does.
But, Darrell, are there room for 2 grooves like this at Darlington?
Well, that's the problem you got there, is that's why they run over each other all the time. Everybody's trying to get in the same spot. Darlington's made for 1 race car, and that's it.
100 laps complete here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Jeff Gordon back in the lead. You're watching NASCAR on Fox, presented by UPS.
Welcome back to Atlanta. Chris Myers with Jeff Hammond. Don't forget Victory Lane tonight, 9 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. As we continue to watch the race and the battle for the lead, Jeff Gordon has that over Dale Jarrett. Jeff Hammond, Ford has complained since Daytona about the aerodynamic disadvantage. They want more help on the front end. They say they don't need the 2 inches that Chevy got, but Chevy has won all 3 races so far this year, and they're leading again.
Yeah, as you can see right now, Dale Jarrett can get close to that 24 car, but he's having trouble really getting and making that pass. He can suck up to him, and all of a sudden Gordon seems like he drives away from him. That's the big problem they complain about, is after a few laps, after the tires get worn a little bit, they lose their grip, all of a sudden they need that aerodynamic downforce to make the front end hook so they can keep it going.
Jarrett did lead 42 laps last week. He's won 2 straight poles, but no victories yet for Ford. So far, 10 lead changes here with 7 different leaders. Let's go back upstairs now. Mike Joy.
This is a great battle right here, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is right in the middle of it as you watch from the Bud Cam. Todd Bodine up high and Johnny Benson filling up his mirror.
But you know, I follow up a little bit on what Jeff said about the Fords, and they say they need some help. If the Dodge is good, the Ford ought to be good. Because I'm telling you, I walk through the garage and I look at them, and I can't tell any difference in them. They look very, very, very similar.
More from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pit. Here's Dick.
On that last round of pits, Steve Wolf, the rear changer on Dale Earnhardt's car, suffered a laceration on his finger. The doctors put ice on it. They said, you're out of here for the day. Well, the one car Steve Park blew up, he's a teammate. Mike Atwell from that car is going to pit it. You're looking at Atwell now. He has also brought along his carrier, Chad Walters. So we'll see how these guys mix together. They're certainly not used to pitting as a group. Mike?
Now, Larry, that's pretty neat. If you're going to change tires, you want your own tire carrier because you folks have your timing and your sequence.
Yeah, I mean, the tire carrier, the tire changer is only as good as its tire carrier. And it's not saying one tire carrier is better than the other, but they're just used to each other.
Darrell, I want to challenge you on something right there, partner. Not that I'm a Ford supporter, but at the same time, I know I've seen some of the numbers on the Dodges, and I do believe they do have a little bit more front downforce than the Ford, even though I do agree they look very much the same. But I think if you notice the way those openings are and the way the air flows over the car once it leaves that front valence, it makes a big difference. And we see right now Jeremy Mayfield must have a problem on pit road.
Matt's there.
He came on the radio, Mike, and said something feels like it's loose in the right front. They're going to make a track bar adjustment and a 4-tire change to see if it is the tires or if something is indeed loose. You can see one of the crew members sticking his head inside, checking to see if something is indeed loose in the right front. He said he couldn't tell what it was, but something just did not feel right. They didn't want to take a chance. Jeremy has not felt good all day, so he did lose his breakfast twice this morning. They thought they may have to get a relief driver, but Jeffrey Baker did not see anything wrong in the right front. Now we're on to the left side to Jeannie.
Well, Matt, it is frustration with the 18 car. Bobby Labonte says it is pushing like a dump truck. Last pit, he took one rubber out of the right front and made a track bar adjustment, about a 1/4 inch, but it actually made it worse. Crew chief Jimmy Makar told his driver, hey, hang in there, let these new tires settle in.
Darrell, Bobby's driving your dump truck.
Well, he is, and I know a lot of people haven't ever driven one, but that's not a fun thing to be. Let me just follow up again on what Jeff said. Some of these cats, Jeff, can take urine and beat his, and some of them take his and beat urine. And I think that's the big difference.
And I agree with what you're saying right there, Darrell. And I think it's going to be going on a long time as long as Ford doesn't get in victory lane. You know how it is. You've always told me the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And right now, they haven't been able to get into victory lane like they've been able to in the past. So automatically, you got to go down to that big red rig and start complaining. Otherwise, they're going to leave it like it is.
That or come over to the Hollywood Hotel, do a little complaining, and get them on national TV.
There you go. Come on down.
Well, watch Todd Bodine here in 66 trying to hold off the 10 of Johnny Benson while trying to overhaul the 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
It's almost like he got such a run off this corner right here a while ago that he got up on the 8 car so fast he had to back off the throttle, and the 10 car caught him before he could get his momentum back. Bill Elliott in the 9 car now, he's a lap down, so he's really not in racing these guys for position. Look at the 10 car down to the bottom there, Johnny Benson.
Ooh. Got to have a pretty good handling automobile to get down under somebody out of the corner like that and not get into him.
I did pick him, you'll remember.
You picked Benson?
Yeah.
Just look at him at the bottom. He's almost on the white part of the apron right there. Gets a great run off turn 2 right there. But you see Todd Bodine up high, keeps that momentum, keeps them RPMs up. Back into turn 3. Johnny Benson back to the bottom.
Man, we got a good race going on for the lead up here.
It's a battle for 5th position right here. Remember, Jerry Nadeau, one of the first cautions about lap 2, spun out. He's done worked his way back to the 6th position.
That last caution flag got everyone caught back up together on the same pit stop schedule. And Nadeau back up there and strong. Darrell, how tough is it to race the car ahead and race the car behind you at the same time?
Well, that's one of the things that when people say, I think I could do that, they go to these driving schools or whatever, and they get out there by themselves, say it doesn't look all that hard. That's what I call track presence. And you have got to have a lot of track presence when you get up in the middle of a bunch of cars. You got to know where you are. You can't think about it. It's instinctive. You got to feel it. You got to know that guy's there, and you got to respond and react to him being there.
Sterling Marlin now has his hands full with Nadeau, who won here in November for his first Winston Cup victory.
He's one of the few cars, goes right to the bottom, running on the bottom right there. One of the few cars this late in the run that seems to be able to do that. Gets a good run. Sterling, though, gets that momentum.
And Matt Kenseth gets a run back up on Nadeau when that happens.
It's that high-low thing. Just get the momentum, get the run off the corner, get a lot of steam up, get back in the gas a little earlier.
Darrell, a lot of guys this morning in the garage was debating which gear to pull for what line they thought they was going to run. You got to run a little lower gear to run that bottom because you're breaking your momentum trying to pull it up out of that hole off the corner.
Got to come up out of that corner, as we like to say. Go down in there, but you got to get up out of it.
Second car out of the race is Jeremy Mayfield. He's going to the garage, joining Steve Parker. There's Mayfield coasting in. Couldn't get that woes corrected. And Jeff Gordon sails along up front with a 2-second margin on Dale Jarrett.
But the guy behind him, Dale Jarrett, after that last series of pit stops, he's gotten a little bit better. He's keeping Gordon in a little bit closer of a sight. You can see him up there a little bit better.
And sneaking his way up to 3rd, Dave Blaney in that Bill Davis Dodge. Kevin Harvick, Sterling Marlin. That's our top 5 of 119 laps. This is NASCAR on Fox.
NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, presented by UPS on Fox, is brought to you by the Home Depot, the official home improvement warehouse of NASCAR.
Welcome back to Atlanta, where 123 laps are on the board. Gordon leading Jarrett, Dave Blaney in 3rd, Kevin Harvick. For more of Darrell's insight into NASCAR, check out the All Waltrip section on foxsports.com.
Hey, all right. You know, you've heard of All Madden, you know, Big John Madden. Oh. He's a big star on Fox. DW, I said, can I have me, if I could just have one thing, I'd have my own little website like Big John's got.
So it's All Waltrip all the time?
All Waltrip all the time. Anything you want to know about racing, just tune in.
Good grief. Now, we've expanded our Fox box and our ticker that runs across the screen. And what you're going to see, folks, is instantaneous miles per hour.
Well, that's a little bit deceiving. It's a great graphic, but it depends on where you are as to how high that's going to be. That could be in the middle of the corner, it could be down at the end of the straightaway. So different places on the racetrack. You can see it coming and going.
When you're seeing 180s, 190s, that's almost at the end of the straightaway. You're seeing them 160s, middle 160s like Rudd there, 158. That's down in the middle of the corner.
But it certainly gives you a good idea about how fast the cars are and then how much they slow down through the corners.
And when we get to Talladega, when you're flat out all the way around, that'll be a pretty valid comparison.
Oh, yeah, it never changes there. I mean, you just run all the way around.
The Pfizer Viagra cam on board Mark Martin.
Boy, he's struggling. He's all the way back in 25th position, and I don't know. I thought at one time he might make a move, but he looks like he's having to struggle with that thing quite a bit today.
They'll hope for better next week at Darlington on Fox.
Oh, the day ain't over yet now.
Nope.
Let's don't go there yet.
Dave Blaney has climbed himself quietly up to 3rd place, Matt.
For the first time in 683 races since July 31st of 1977, a Dodge is on top of the points, but Dave Blaney wants to be the first Dodge boy in victory lane right now. He's running about half a groove lower than the other cars, just trying to save his tires because tire wear has been a concern all weekend. A number of teams showing a little bit of wear on their left side. Steve Burns.
Matt, Dale Jarrett has complained about being tight from the center off.
That's your track bar. Do something. You got to help him out here now.
And what they're talking about doing, they're talking about putting air in that right rear tire. That increases the spring rate over there. 1 pound equals about 10 pounds of spring rate. That'll help that old car turn up off the corner. There you see Dave Blaney, 93. He's going for 2nd here.
I'd be running down there and asking Blaney what he's doing.
Keep talking about these cars not turning. It brings us right back to what we were saying earlier about that downforce on the front. Now that Dodge is coming up through there. Tires getting a little bit worn. Got a little bit more front grip, but his car is turning like it needs to. He's able to get back to the throttle. He's gaining on that 88 car of Dale Jarrett.
Well, we'll see what happens when he gets up there. He was able to close up, but the big thing now is can he make the pass? A lot of air right in here, folks. That's where all that air is. It moves around and upsets the car in the back. See these fenders? He can always pull those fenders out a little bit, get a little bit more downforce. And if you watch these cars nose first, you'll see a huge difference in how far out that fender sticks. And that's how you plant that front end. That's why they wear out the left front tire. They put a lot of downforce on that left front corner.
Jarrett holds 2nd. Meanwhile, leader Jeff Gordon has come up on a big pack of traffic.
He's come up on about half the field. There you see Robbie Gordon run him all the way up to the wall right there. Again, some of these guys trying to stay a lap down. Some of them trying to stay on the lead lap right here. We're about 10 or 12 laps away from pit stops. These guys would love to stay on the lead lap.
And Dave Blaney completes the pass for 2nd place.
You know, I think Blaney thinks he's at Eldora. He's driving that thing down in there like he's at Eldora, got that big right rear, and he's laying it up there against a fence and gassing it and going. Oh, here's our neatest. This is the neatest thing we got right here.
Fox Tracks. Using global positioning satellites, we can pinpoint the location of these cars and give you intervals and speeds in real time.
We're dialing them up now, telling them, hey, give us a signal, will you?
You know, Blaney had been running the bottom, running the bottom, running the bottom. Where did he go by Dale Jarrett? On the high side.
That's what I'm telling you. It's just like Eldora when it gets dirt, when it gets slick. They got to put it up there in the cushion.
Look at the tracks that Dale Jarrett's running in right now. He says, hey, Blaney's pretty fast. I'm going to try to stay with him. But look at the gap, how much. This shows Dale Jarrett's car is pushing off the corner. Look how much space Blaney opened up off the corner. Blaney getting back to that throttle a lot quicker than Dale Jarrett is.
And the car is turning for him. You can hear Dale, he's out of the throttle so long, and he never mats it. He's just kind of easing into it.
Now, Gordon has busted his way through 4 of those 12 cars.
That's what you call a gaggle of cars.
It's coming up on Andy Houston and then Rusty Wallace. Stacy Compton, Mike Skinner there.
We'll probably see Rusty's car start smoking here in a minute, and it'll all be coming off the steering wheel.
Buckshot, Nemechek, and Wallace is coming in. Now, Jeff Burton came in a bit ago. on lap 123. So here's Wallace 13 laps later. This should start the cycle of stops.
This is not bad strategy. Robin Pemberton saw that the leader was right there. They're telling what they're doing, short pitting. Get those fresh tires early. Then when all the pit stops is over, they'll be out front of Jeff Gordon, Dick Berggren.
Well, the reason they're short pitting on this race car, this number 2 that Rusty Wallace is driving, is that the car has a vicious understeer. It's pushing. He just doesn't have the handle under it. So they're going to attempt to adjust it with the tires that they're putting on the car now. Hopefully give Rusty something he can drive much better. The car is fine. This car won Michigan. It just isn't set up right at the moment.
All the way.
That's a fast pit stop, 14.6 seconds for Rusty Wallace. Ricky Craven, Stacy Compton come on pit road. Green flag pit stops begin. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
NASCAR Winston Cup Racing presented by UPS on Fox is brought to you by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. By Sprint PCS, the clear alternative to cellular. By Visa, the preferred card of NASCAR. Visa, it's everywhere NASCAR fans want to be. And by new Haviland Motor Oil technology, formulated for improved gas mileage. Add more life to your car.
It's green flag pit stop time at lap 141. Johnny Benson completes his service. Ward Burton is in. Mark Martin is done. And here comes Dale Jarrett. Terry Labonte, Kenny Wallace, and Kyle Petty pitting. Jeff Gordon, could he be out of fuel?
He's out of fuel, I believe.
Jeff Gordon just came on the radio and said there's something wrong, something wrong. Then he came back out and said, I think it's out of fuel. He says he thinks he's out of fuel. It could be a long way down pit road for the guy who was leading the race.
He's not going to make it. He'll never make it around. He's almost stopped.
Steve Burns.
They added that pound of air pressure. They also made a wedge adjustment to the number 88. 4 tires for Dale Jarrett. He's down and away. Good stop for Dale Jarrett.
Right now is when I'd have my teammate coming down there and give me a little help. Come on, somebody give him a push.
Look at how far he's got to coast. He's in turn 4.
I'm really surprised he made it all the way around because he's not going very fast.
Larry, how does this happen?
Well, I'm questioning, did they get it full the last time? Because that was 60 laps, and everybody felt like they could at least run 62 or 63 laps, and he's just now halfway down pit road, Darrell.
How that happened is in inspection. They took away those big fuel cells, and these guys don't know how to handle this 22 gallons of gas.
Matt?
Get it started.
Cars. Number of teams had trouble in happy hour. Jeff Gordon's car does fire, trying to dial in the race car, so did not do a lot of time, spending time on trying to get a good gauge on fuel mileage. So some teams did not get a good gauge coming in here. This 24 could be one. He's down and away today.
Here's Earnhardt Jr. in his pit right now. They have got the new tire changer and carrier on the back end, and hey, you know what? It's working. They were the first ones to be done. Earnhardt stalls the car. Crew pushing it. He gets it going again. Earnhardt stalls. Hey, that was a nice stop for a pickup back tire changer.
Dave Blaney picks up the lead. First time he's led since Dover last September. Jimmy Spencer picked up the lead on Blaney's stops. So Spencer gives it up to come to pit road along with Tony Stewart, Todd Bodine, Bobby Hamilton. Here's Spencer's stop. Todd Bodine's crew. That tear-off came off the windshield of Bodine's car to improve his vision. 4 tires, he's away.
Yeah, those tear-offs are the neatest things, particularly on a track like this, where as the day goes on, you'll be driving off in the first turn, looking right dead in the sun. Man, a clean windshield, you give a whole new perspective on everything.
Jimmy Spencer becomes the 9th different leader of this race.
And when you're not running very good, you need a whole new perspective sometimes.
And what people don't realize, these are not glass windshields. They're a plastic or a Lexan, and they get sandblasted really bad.
Dale Jarrett picks up the lead after cycling through pit stops. Dave Blaney in second, Sterling Marlin third. And Jeff Burton, who stopped about 20 laps to go, in danger of being lapped here. We'll be right back with more NASCAR on Fox, presented by UPS. Next weekend, we're at Darlington, South Carolina, granddaddy of NASCAR super speedways. All on Saturday, Winston Cup qualifying, Fox Sports Net, the Busch Race, and happy hour on FX. And then Sunday, NASCAR This Morning and Victory Lane to bookend our NASCAR Carolina Dodge Dealers 400 coverage here on Fox at 12:30 Eastern Time. Did you like running Darlington, Darrell?
I love Darlington. It was just fun. It was one of those kind of racetracks you just race the track. It's where I learned to anticipate things. You always had to be looking ahead, thinking ahead, because you couldn't just pass people when you caught them. You had to pass them in certain places.
Here at Atlanta, 152 laps. Dave Blaney's our leader. Todd Bodine has made an unscheduled stop and gone a lap down. Matt?
Todd Bodine came on the radio and complained about his car had a vibration. They brought him back in. They found something loose in the left side wheels. They changed the left side tires.
Tough break for Bodine.
There's so much pressure on these teams up under green to make those 14, 15-second stops, and it just really pushes the envelope, Larry.
Yeah, this is Jeff Gordon right here, the 24 car. Now, he was leading the race. Right now, he's about 2 seconds behind the leader, 1 lap down, trying to get up there to Dave Blaney to get that lap back.
Well, as good as his car was, I wouldn't count him out yet. Got a long way to go. That car's fast, and he'll get up on the wheel and get that lap back.
And you see Mayfield back on the speedway after making those changes behind pit wall to improve what they suspected was a steering problem.
And I just don't think we've said enough about this guy right here. Dave Blaney driving that Dodge for Bill Davis. He drove around Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett owns this place. He went around him and is driving off and leaving him, waving to him as he went by.
Blaney's had a great couple of weeks.
He has. His car is awesome.
14 lead changes among 9 leaders, only 2 cautions, lap 2 and lap 83. Just 7 laps of caution. Average speed 160.5.
We've had a real fast race, and you know, so far it's been real clean. A couple of spin outs early on, but it's going good right now.
Hut Strickland being overlapped in the Ginny Dunleavy car. Strickland, the driver of that hard hit in Las Vegas, credited the hands device, as you heard in our pre-race show, with minimizing his troubles after a hard hit on the turn 4 wall at Las Vegas.
Yeah, we talked about Hut hitting the wall. We wanted to talk to him at the racetrack there, but I'm telling you, that was a 180-mile-an-hour lick. Started that way, drug the speed out of the car as he got to the fence, but when you see that right front tire folded up into the car with the driver, that's a hard lick.
But he is okay and here to race today. Blaney to Jarrett, 1.96 seconds. And Sterling Marlin, third, about 3 seconds off the lead. And this crowd for 7th place, Dale Earnhardt Jr. passing Kevin Harvick. For more on Harvick, here's Steve.
Michael with crew chief Kevin Hamlin. Kevin, your young driver is doing a good job. Have you made any adjustments to that race car?
No, not really. We adjusted a half-pound air pressure in the first half. Since then, we just kind of left it off. He said that, you know, he's just trying to be easy with the car, take time with it, and hopefully get the GM Service Plus Monte Carlo a good finish at the end of the day.
Caution is out. Robbie Gordon bounced off the wall at turn 4. Report of oil on the racetrack. We're under yellow.
Here you see Gordon coming off turn 4, but he don't have near enough time to get back to Dave Blaney before they take the caution flag. Blaney has already taken it.
That's Jeff Gordon trying to get back on the lead lap. Here is the car that brought out the caution.
He tore the whole right side out of that thing. That is what we would call
pancake.
Pancake. Thank you.
Well, no, Darrell, you got to do the whole side if it's a pancake.
Well, that's
I don't know what that is, but I don't want it in my stomach.
Is that a waffle?
He's kind of waffling, trying to get to pit road, and he will make it to his pit. So caution is out for the 3rd time today at lap 159. This is NASCAR on Fox.
NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, presented by UPS on Fox, is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Enjoy.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Dale Jarrett has come to pit lane, leaving the leader out on the racetrack. Now, pit road flag is still waving closed. That red flag with the yellow X means the pit lane is not open yet. So I'm not sure what to make of this.
They're out at the entrance of pit road, and if it's open, they'll wave a green flag.
Earnhardt Jr. also makes a stop. Leader Dave Blaney stayed on the racetrack. Matt Kenseth, Ricky Rudd came in.
If you pit when that red flag's still out, the penalty is at the beginning of the restart, you go to the tail end of the longest line.
Now, normally, the pace car would pick up the field, and the next time by, the pit lane would open. But this time, the caution came out. The pace car did not immediately pick up the race leader. And the pit road is now open this time around.
Jeff Hammond, how could this happen?
Well, undoubtedly right there, Larry, when what happened was, I think everybody got picked up. They thought the first time by, so they automatically thought the next time by pit road's going to be open. Somebody went to sleep down there, whether it's NASCAR or the spotters won, because normally when the pace car goes by, the second time by, that opens pit road. You know how the pace car works, Larry?
Well, but personally, I didn't see any reason why the pit road would be closed. There's no car in the way. There's nothing going on down there to have the pit road closed. I'm sure that's what the drivers that came in thought.
I mean, they'd already come by and took the caution flag. The leader picked up caution car, followed him around, and the caution car opens it up the first time by.
Of course, like they always told me, we don't really care what you think. It was closed.
Now the cars is in the pits. All the leaders are in the pits. Sterling Marlin, the 40 car. You saw Dave Blaney, the 93 car. Again, they come in once they saw the green flag waving. Ricky Craven in the 32 car as well. We had about 6 cars pit, though, when the red flag was still waving.
And they will be penalized. Dale Jarrett, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, Ricky Rudd, Michael Waltrip, and Rusty Wallace will all be penalized.
Could be a big break for Jeff Gordon. You know, he's trying to get a lap back. Be interesting to see what he does.
I mean, the bottom line, regardless, hearing Tony Eury, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew chief, talking to one of the NASCAR officials.
Well, clearly, when those cars pitted, Darrell, the flag was still waving at the head end of pit road. That was the red flag with the yellow X that indicated pit road was closed. And NASCAR said they kept the pit road closed, trying to get things cleaned up from where that oil and debris was.
Yeah, where Robbie Gordon come on the pit road, slinging the tire, dropping oil. And regardless of why the red flag was waving, it's not open.
That's right. Why doesn't matter.
Jump in here. Come on, stop the box, then.
Well, does this mean it's a new race for Jeff Gordon?
Well, he'll get out of the pit first here. He'll be the first car up on the inside line because he's still a lap down. But with some of the faster cars having to go to the back like Jarrett, it's a great opportunity for him to get that lap back.
Remember, Gordon ran out of gas under green.
20 cars outside, 20 cars outside. Just hold your lane.
Races Tony Stewart down pit lane. It's going to beat him.
No racing in the pits, boys. No racing in the pits now.
Let's listen to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s radio.
They're saying pit road was not open that time. Was the flag waving down there?
Well, apparently some of the teams thought pit road was open. The flag was clearly waving. It was not.
Well, Dale Jarrett came in, and that would confuse everybody because if Dale Jarrett comes in, he's a guy that's usually on top of his game. You would assume the pits were open.
Mark Martin has led a lap to pick up 5 bonus points. And now comes to pit road for service. You ride with the Pfizer Viagra cam down pit lane. This is NASCAR on Fox. Let's sort out these pit stops, beginning with Dick Berggren.
Slow pit stop for Sterling Marlin, 24-13. Kid in the back tire changer slipped in, he fell, and that's what did him in. Let's go to Steve.
A lot of confusion here in the 88 pits as well. Todd Parrott just asked the spotter, Bob Jeffrey, on the roof, could you see pit road was closed? He said no. Dale Jarrett didn't know it was closed. Let's check in with Matt Yoakum.
The leader, Dave Blaney, in the 93 car, and his crew chief, Doug Randolph, discussed any changes. No changes for the 93 car. He was very, very happy. The car was very good in turns 1 and 2, a little loose in 3 and 4. To Jeannie.
Well, that's life in the big city. That's the word on the radio in the 17 pit. Matt Kenseth was told to follow 88 in, and that's exactly what he did as we go green here. Kenseth said he didn't see the flag waving, so he's not sure what's going on. He just followed followed the 88 car. Did get an opportunity to tighten up his car. Half pound out of the right rear and air pressure adjustment for all new Ford tires.
Jeff Gordon just jumps out in front of the leaders, so he's hoping for a quick caution here.
Gordon is now on the tail end of the lead lap. The car right behind him, 93, Dave Blaney in the Dodge, is the race leader.
And this is when you're most likely to have a quick caution. A couple of cars will get together, a little sheet metal fly. Might catch one here, guys. Of course, he's got to stay ahead of that 93 car now. That's part of the equation, you know.
That may not be an easy task because Blaney has been strong all day.
You know, it's not surprising. You think about how Ward Burton runs here at this racetrack. Their teammates, they must have shared some notes, and Dave got the better of them.
Here comes Blaney back after Gordon to try to put him back one lap down, and does. Matt?
Darrell, you talked about borrowing notes from the 22 car. The 22 car has not been good all weekend. The 93 of Dave Blaney just has been very good. They've worked on it. He seems to have acclimated himself a little better to this new tire than Ward Burton in the 22. The 93 car of Dave Blaney coming on. Could be a very good career-making day.
Hey, surprise. The second place car, Ricky Craven.
Well, he's actually running third now because Jerry Nadeau just went by him in the 25 car, but after all the confusion, good run, paying attention to when pit road was open, he's worked his way into third place position, starting all the way at the rear. Tony Stewart in the 20 car. Now he's another car that's a lap down. There you see Sterling Marlin on the 40 car. He's moving underneath 32 of Craven.
And the man who won here last November, Jerry Nadeau, back up in second place.
Has anybody seen where's Bobby Labonte running? I hadn't even noticed. You notice where he's running? Can you help me out, Mike?
Fifth place.
Oh, fifth. Oh, fifth. I didn't think he'd be up that far by now.
Let's see. Was he not your pick? There is Bobby Labonte, the Winston Cup champion. For those of you with surround sound, let's put 800 horsepower in your ear. Crank it up. Funny just how when Darrell Waltrip brings up his name, Bobby Labonte starts marching right toward the lead.
Ooh, he looks good right now, too. He's really fast. He runs high and low. Listen, he's used to running this racetrack on the bottom, and I think he's just having to find him a new driving style for today's race.
Boy, close company. Benson and Harvick almost slapped together coming out of 4.
Look at Benson, got real loose right down on the bottom, getting into turn 1. He's still running around the bottom, though, coming right here underneath Harvick in the 29 car. This is a battle for 6th. He takes the position off turn 2.
You just got to turn those wheels a little bit harder to the left when you run around the bottom, and that'll cause them to snap loose every now and then.
Dave Blaney had 1.55 seconds last time by on Jerry Nadeau. Increases that by a 10th this time around. So went from 1.55 to 1.66 as Craven and Benson battle for 5th.
Well, these guys are really wasting their time because Dave Blaney has already gotten into another zip code, guys. He just drove off and left these guys.
Benson got those fresh tires. Don't know he's right around the bottom. He's going to take over 5th position.
Well, Nadeau brought a little bit of it back. Gained about 5 100ths on that last lap.
I don't care what kind of racetrack you're on, if you're on Martinsville or you're on Atlanta or Daytona or Talladega, that running side by side kills your lap speed.
Look at Harvick, going to bring it all the way to the bottom right there, all the way on the white line.
Well, it worked for Benson. Harvick will try it.
mean, this is this kid's third Winston Cup start, and look at him up here. Nobody told him you ain't supposed to do this in your third start.
Well, he was very impressive yesterday, has been in the Busch car, and he's turning a lot of heads right now in that Cup car.
And in 3 races, the only mark I've seen on his car is on that first lap at Las Vegas, just barely caved the grill in a little bit. But you know what? That's what you got to do to a race car to be at the end of these things.
Well, that's how you learn. You got to get seat time. You got to run these races. You got to figure out this isn't 200 miles, 300 miles. This is 500 miles, 3.5 hours. Got to pace yourself, buddy.
He's going to make a shambles of the rookie race this year if he keeps this up. And right now, he's the highest placed rookie in the race. Steve?
Guys, you're exactly right. It's amazing. Kevin Harvick, on the last 3 stops, they have made no adjustments to that car with the exception of putting 4 new tires and pulling a 4-inch piece of duct tape off the grill. They have not tweaked that car in any other way for the 29 of Kevin Harvick.
And Mike, let me tell you, when you take a crew chief like they have Hamlin, you take a car owner like Childress, and you take the experience they've had through the years with Dale Earnhardt, this kid has fallen into a golden opportunity. He doesn't have to tell them anything because they know what to do.
But Kevin Hamlin told me he's got a good feel for that car. He's able to tell you what that car's doing. Said he's been struggling a little bit, talking about what the car's doing in the race, but in practice, he's done a great job of telling them what that car's doing.
There's your leader, Blaney. Bobby Labonte keeps marching toward the front. He's past Ricky Craven, and he's now up to 4th place and closing on Sterling Marlin. Jeannie?
Well, I know that Darrell wants to take all the credit for this, so I made my way over to the 18 pit. They said, yeah, okay, maybe park Darrell. But actually, they took a pound down in all 4 tires, and within their past couple of pit stops, they took out 5 rounds of wedge. Bobby is saying it's the first time this car has felt good all day. So, yeah, I think that's Darrell's doing, right?
Well, that's what I'd have done. I'd just keep letting air out of the tires until he said it felt good.
Larry, is 1 pound on all 4 tires, is that a big change?
That's a pretty big change. But what that's doing, that's like softening the springs on that race car. It's getting it down in this slick racetrack right now. But I'm going to tell you what, 5 rounds of bite out of that thing, that's really freeing that car up. That's a lot of wedge out of that car, Darrell.
That's probably a percent and a half of wedge. And that's a lot.
But what they're doing, Jimmy Maycar, Bobby Labonte, they know they got to keep up with this racetrack. This racetrack gets tighter and tighter. The car turns less and less as the race goes on.
Well, yeah, we say it gets tighter, but actually it gets slicker. That's really what the driver would like to be able to tell the crew chief. He's complaining about his pushing, but it's because he's not getting the grip that he would like to have. And you got to rotate that grip from the back to the front.
Bobby Labonte, 5 seconds off the lead, 5.9 seconds off the lead. Dave Blaney's Dodge for Bill Davis Racing up front at 182 laps, and the 99 of Jeff Burton being lapped. Engine on Burton sounding a little off, and another bad day for a fellow we expected to contend here. 182 down, 143 to go. Here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, NASCAR's fastest unrestricted track. You're watching Winston Cup Racing on Fox, presented by UPS.
NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, presented by UPS on Fox, is brought to you by UPS, the official delivery company of NASCAR. We want to race the truck. People love the truck.
Riding along there with Dale Jarrett. Welcome back to the Cracker Barrel Old Country Stores 500 here at Hampton, Georgia. This is where your Koch family of drivers are running. Bobby Labonte facing that group in 4th place.
Well, Jarrett slid back a little bit. Of course, he came from the rear. I guess that's one thing we had to remember.
Steve Park out of the race with engine trouble, and Michael Waltrip's had a couple of stops on pit road.
Jeff Burton's troubles continue out there running around about on 7 cylinders. Season just keeps going backwards.
Dale Jarrett going after Dale Earnhardt Jr. This is for 9th place.
That's a real parallel there, isn't it? Dale Jr., 26 years old. Got his 42-odd-year-old buddy after him there.
Current miles per hour up there on our ticker. And for more on Earnhardt Jr.'s day, here's Dick.
Junior's been calling it with his pit, Mike, and he's talking about a vibration in this car. We had heard an awful lot about vibrations in the last couple or 3 races. And some of the crews are thinking that possibly what's happening is that this new tire has got a little debris that builds up on the wheel itself, so it'll make the tire feel as if it's got a vibration. Not something that's really bad, like a loose wheel or an equalized tire. Nobody really knows what it's all about, but we did hear about it last week in Las Vegas. We also heard about it in Rockingham, and now Earnhardt Jr. is suffering with it here in Atlanta.
Well, some of the teams had experimented with coating the inside of those wheels with Teflon to prevent tire buildup.
Yeah, that's what I'd be telling my driver.
Yeah. Just, you know, at the speeds these wheels and tires are turning, just a little something, rubber, whatever, I mean, it can really throw this thing out of balance.
And we're running 190 miles an hour, so, I mean, it's just...
What are we going to run at Darlington, Darrell?
Oh, boy. You know, that track was built to run 140 miles an hour on, and we'll qualify at 170, probably 172.
And I know down there in qualifying on Friday, down through turn 1 and 2, they'll be out of the gas about a millisecond.
Some guys go try to run 1 and 2 coming to get the green and get down into turn 1. They'll run it wide open.
Now, Darlington was built in 1949. And when that track was built, didn't they intend to run on the flat and the banking was the safety apron? And now look, they run right up near the wall.
Well, let me just put it in perspective. We talk about time. They'll run in the 28-second bracket. I lapped the field there in 1989 running 32 seconds. I won the race there in 1981 running 36 seconds. So that's how much the speeds have come down over the last 10 years.
They call it the track too tough to tame at Darlington, South Carolina. That's where we will be next weekend with qualifying and NASCAR Busch Racing Saturday and Winston Cup Racing Sunday.
And the walls are old, but they're still hard.
Dave Blaney, ex-sprint car racer, out front. Blaney has now led 46 laps of this race. And here's last November's winner, Jerry Nadeau, second place.
About 2 seconds behind Dave Blaney.
Dave Blaney opening it up, Matt.
Mike, Dave Blaney, the 93 car, had been talking to his spotter, Eric Slade, about which line to run because the 25 car looked very fast. Jerry Nadeau did close up. So Dave Blaney started searching around the racetrack. He found a little better line and now has slowly started inching away. His car is very, very good on long runs. They just need a long run to show it.
Mike, you know how many laps Blaney had led in his career, Winston Cup career, before today?
Not many, 10 or so?
4.
Wow.
So he's having, as was mentioned earlier, a career day.
Had a great run last week in Las Vegas. My vote for most improved team of the young season is this one right here.
Yes, sir.
Crews watching it on the Jumbotron. Back of pit road as Dave Blaney tries to dominate here in Atlanta. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
Welcome back to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Atlanta 500. And don't forget Totally NASCAR with Steve Burns. It's totally entertaining. Weeknights at 6 Eastern on Fox Sports Net. With Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, we're trackside in our mobile studio unit. Let's recap the race so far. Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick going at it early. This is on lap 19.
Kevin gets loose and slides up. Gordon gets by.
And then Sterling Marlin, after Gordon had led for a while, Jeff, he had led for at least a lap, but eventually Gordon gets back in front of him.
Yeah, it's like Sterling's tires were good for a while, then all of a sudden here comes Jeff Gordon. His car got to working good. Here we see Steve Park. He loses the engine. Standing there talking to crew chief Paul Andrews.
He was out, and then on lap 143,
can you believe it? He runs out of gas.
Jeff Gordon, the leader, ran out of gas. Look at his pit crew. They're totally stunned. Gordon fell to 24th, but got back in it when at least 5 cars went into the pits when they were not supposed to. As you saw, the pit flag, Dale Jarrett, one of those, and fell from the lead. So Dave Blaney, who was in the lead pack last November here in Atlanta when he was tapped from behind and wound up 18th, is your leader. He's been the leader since lap 149. His best finish so far, 8th and 9th on the Winston Cup circuit.
Blaney's getting ready right now to put Rusty Wallace a lap down as he works him as he go off to the corner.
We've had 16 lead changes, 10 different leads. Again, Blaney on the lead. What should we look for here over these last 123 laps, Jeff?
That the Blaney bunch do not beat themselves. Right now, they got that car on a rail. He really looks awesome. And the biggest thing is he just got to be patient, work with his spotter, let everything kind of come to him, because everybody's got to catch him. But the guy right now that's trying to make up ground is the 24 car. He's coming trying to get his lap back.
All right, Jerry Nadeau, who won last November, right behind Blaney, following Sterling Marlin, who, of course, is the current points leader on the Winston Cup circuit. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Chris Myers, there's a young man named Rick Colson who works on the 88 of Dale Jarrett. You can see he's practicing raising the track bar. That's an adjustment tool. He'll put it in a hole in the bottom right part of the windshield, rear windshield. He's also the catch can man. He catches overflow gas. He'll make this adjustment. At the same time, back home in Charlotte, North Carolina, he's a firefighter.
Now here's Dale Jarrett, one of the 6 cars that was penalized for pitting too soon during the caution flag, a lap before pit road was open.
We got trouble. Todd Bodine spinning off turn 4.
Slides through the grass and he saves it, loops it again, but he's going to stay off the racetrack with it. Caution's out. Lap 205, Todd Bodine with a spin down through the infield grass. Quickly, the cars that were penalized on that last caution flag, Jarrett's now back up to 9th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 10th, Ricky Rudd 11th, Matt Kenseth 12th, and Rusty Wallace back in 16th.
Just on his own, nobody in front of him or behind him, back in the throttle off turn 4, just loops around with him there.
I was just going to follow up on what Jeff said about beating yourself. One of the things that we saw yesterday in the Busch race, late in the race, guys started scrubbing the wall. This groove is, folks, it is inches off the wall, so you're going to have to stay away from that wall and not hit it.
Darrell, that penalty really bit Rusty Wallace. He was in 16th place. He had to restart at the tail end of the field, and he went a lap down to Dave Blaney just before this caution flag.
We get y'all down here in 1 and 2.
So we're at 206 laps complete here at Atlanta. This is NASCAR on Fox. Welcome back to Atlanta. Let's show you leader Dave Blaney, Sterling Marlin, and Bobby Labonte's pit stops here under caution.
Pretty much everybody changing 4 tires, making those adjustments here with about 125 laps to go.
Cleaning that windshield real good for Bobby Labonte. Had a small problem on the front there on the 18. He's away. Blaney had a great stop.
Kevin Harvick scoops out there. He had a super stop in the 29 car.
Boy, he and the 40 car almost got together.
Dick?
Well, the big pressure in the number 40 pit, Sterling Marlin's pit, was right on this man, Jerry Schweitz. He's the gas man. The reason why the pressure was on him, they think they could do it on just one more stop. His goal, get all the fuel in the car he possibly can. To Steve Burns.
Well, Dick, here in the 88 pits, they decided to raise the track bar a little bit for DJ to help the handling on that number 88 car. On the 29 car of Kevin Harvick, he's pitted right next door for the 4th time in a row. They didn't make any adjustments to that car. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
The 93 car, Dave Blaney, no changes. He was very happy with his race car, but next stall over, the 25 car, Jerry Nadeau, they did make a chassis adjustment, and with air pressure, he was complaining his car was tight in, but very good off. Jeannie?
Well, guys, you notice the work on the right front there. That one remaining rubber in the right front, it is gone. Bye-bye. They just pulled it out. 4 new tires, as well cleaning the windshield, as you notice. Not before Bobby said, but thank you to the crew for taking the time to get the car right for him. And he said, we will be there in the end.
Long stops with the hood up for Rusty Wallace and Jimmy Spencer.
And he actually, Rusty, pitted with the leaders just to try to fix that problem, wanted to get there as soon as they could. He's a lap down. He will have to restart the race at the tail end of the longest line. That's the penalty.
More than likely open the hood. Maybe they had to make a chassis adjustment, take a rubber out that they couldn't get out of the, with the tire off of it, had to open the hood to get it out.
We're under the 4th caution of the day. The first came at lap 2 for Jerry Nadeau's spin. Steve Parks' engine let go for the 2nd caution. The 4th turn wall was hit by car 4, Robbie Gordon. And now Todd Bodine's spin. Jeff Gordon's led 118 laps, and Dave Blaney has led 62 laps of this race. The 95 World of Outlaws Winged Sprint Car champion. Next week, Darlington, South Carolina.
Yeah, here's my favorite right there.
And then Bristol, Tennessee. The short track that thinks it's a super speedway, and why not? And then we're off to Texas, to Fort Worth, April 1st.
I've never got to watch a Winston Cup race from Bristol except on tape. I can't imagine what it's going to be like to be in the booth calling the race from my favorite racetrack.
We're on 1 to go. We'll be coming to the green. As the crew chief, what you've told your driver, there's 120 laps to go. We can make it on one more stop, but you got to run about 60 laps a run here. Pull on them belts. We're going to keep adjusting on this next stop. We'll get going here.
Better keep it out of the fence. That's all I can tell you, because that thing is getting, the groove is so close. There's very little room for error.
An important restart for Jeff Gordon. He's the first car in line on the inside. That means he's 1 lap down, and he's going to try to get his lap back from race leader Dave Blaney on the outside. Can't pass him until they get the start finish. Here we go. Green flag.
Well, you can bet Gordo's going to keep it right in there tight on him when he gets to turn 1, not give him any room if he can help it.
Pretty much the same thing as the last restart. Jeff Gordon on the bottom there. He couldn't stay out front there for long a while ago. Let's see if they've adjusted that car and made him better.
Blaney with the big rubber band down the back straightaway.
Got some ponies up under the hood of that old Dodge.
Runs that high line, gets that run off turn 4.
One thing I noticed about Blaney back there earlier in the run, he can go high or low. I saw him dive under a couple of guys down low in 3 and 4 and went right by him.
That's one car you don't want to let back on the lead lap, Jeff Gordon.
He will come back to haunt you.
Yes.
Boy, Blaney got he got way out next to the wall off of 2 that time. Running side by side like that makes it really difficult.
How about Jeff Gordon's teammate, Jerry Nadeau, the 25 car? He's going to go up there. He's going to try to take the lead as well.
Gordon squeaks his way past as Nadeau positions to take a bit of the air off of Blaney's spoiler.
Kevin Harvick in the white 29 car, he's moving in position 2 as well. It's going to get good, guys.
Oh, this could get ugly. You know?
This getting good.
This could get ugly.
A great pit stop for Harvick put him 3rd. Now Nadeau.
He can't decide which line he wants to take. Falls in behind his teammate going into turn 3.
Blaney just needs to really bide his time here. He's got a better car than the other 2 guys, and their teammates got to take that into consideration.
And did Nadeau lining up with Gordon in the back straightaway, did that help Gordon get a better push off into turn 3, Darrell?
That's exactly what his spotter was saying. You've got to push. In other words, you got somebody behind you to help you get out front.
Now Blaney is still the leader. Gordon is now on the tail end of the lead lap.
This is where spirits. You need to really, really mind your manners here. Use your spirits and don't get in trouble here, guys.
You know what makes me feel good about being up here in the TV booth, DW? Look at Dave Blaney, Jerry Nadeau, Kevin Harvick. This is the future of Winston Cup racing. We're just starting to see these guys.
That's right. Of course, Gordon's there to lead them on.
Blaney's won more than 200 sprint car races in his career. 5 times he's finished 1st or 2nd in the World of Outlaws.
One thing he just doesn't want to do right at this point is get frustrated. Just bide your time, buddy. You got a better car than those other guys. You're going to pull ahead of them. Just don't overdo it. That a boy. Nice and smooth off 4. You're going to pull away from them. Once they get single file, he's long gone.
I know this is trivial, but the number 93 has never gone to victory lane in a Winston Cup race. The best finish for that car number was back in 1951, 3rd place.
Wow.
Of course, there's a reason he has that number on the car. Has something to do with the sponsor, I think.
Right, 93 octane.
And Dave Blaney here dominating this race in a Dodge. It just makes me think that 2 years ago here at Atlanta, Georgia, the Dodge people come south to look at the Atlanta racetrack, look at racing, to make their decision whether they want to go racing or not.
Man, got a race going on right here. Look at this. Holy cow, 3 wide. They came by the start-finish line here. Just a little bit of sheet metal was being rubbed.
How about my old team there, Mike Skinner, in that 31 car? He was about to go a lap down. Actually did go a lap down earlier. He's done worked himself back to 11th. Looks like the adjustments they made on that car has put him in the right direction.
And he's back in the high line again. Matt, what's wrong with 93?
Hey, Dave Blaney just came on the radio that something may be wrong with the right rear tire. He's not sure. Left side tires, they believe, maybe left side tires. Might want to keep an eye on the left rear because they were still working the lugs when he started leaving. Tommy Hubert zipped the gun in there. They thought they got him, but maybe they have one loose. Does have a vibration.
And a lot of drivers in yesterday's Busch race, Darrell, think they had a vibration. Come in and get a couple tires, find out they didn't.
Yeah, there's something odd going on. Mark Martin came in earlier with a tire problem. There's something about this new tire situation, the new tires that they got, that the guys seem to be having a vibration with.
For more, here's Dick.
Well, talking about vibrations, Mike, this is what we're seeing on the tires and wheels that are coming off the cars. This is a coated wheel, but look at this. There's tire buildup on the inside. This is all we've got for wheel weight on the inside of the car, and you can pretty well believe that that weight on the other side from old tires could offset the wheel weight.
The 93's on pit road. He's coming down. Whatever it is, it's bad enough he thinks he's got to stop.
Well, at 190 miles an hour, you don't dare gamble.
No. He's got a fast car. He'll get back in this race.
Matt?
Dave Blaney finally comes to a halt. He does have a lug missing on the left rear. There is a lug missing. That's probably why he had the vibration. A costly stop for Dave Blaney, who was leading this race and starting to run away. He's down and away. Heartbreak in the 93 pit.
Well, that's a great pit stop. Unfortunately, he just didn't need that. You can't fault Dave Blaney for anything that he's done today. He has driven an absolutely perfect race, and he was in a position to win this thing. I'm not going to count him out yet, but he just dug himself a pretty deep hole.
So Jerry Nadeau picks up the lead. Kevin Harvick and Sterling Marlin right there, nose to tail, second and third.
Guys, here we go again. We talked about it earlier, Darrell. Don't beat yourself. Under caution, what do? They get in a little bit of a hurry, and it costs them big. Now they got to go back and scrap and claw here with less than 100 laps to go to try to get back to where they should be already in the lead.
Yeah, it's a little late in the day to get yourself in trouble like this. Hard to make up a lap when you get down near the end.
Right, Dave Blaney did lose a lap, making that green flag pit stop. Matt Kenseth and Ricky Rudd, who were two of those cars that were penalized for pitting too soon on the prior caution, are back up to 5th and 6th, as you watch from the Haviland onboard cam of Ricky Rudd.
And look how close, right up to the wall. I mean, there's no room at all. There's no room for margin for error whatsoever.
Earnhardt Jr. passed Rudd. He was another of those drivers who were penalized. It wasn't a big penalty, but it was to the end of the lead lap car.
Well, actually, the end of the longest line is where you go back to.
Jerry Nadeau, boy, has his story turned around since the start of the day. If you've been with us all the way, you saw on lap 2 where he and Michael Waltrip touched, and Nadeau's 25 went spinning into the front stretch grass. 5 drivers had to take to the grass to evasive action. Now he is our leader.
Sometimes you got to be lucky. Sometimes you got to be good, and then some days you're both.
Bobby Labonte moving up past Ricky Rudd. That will put Labonte in 7th place.
Yeah.
Got a lot to do down there on pit road in 16 seconds, Jeff Hammond.
That's right, Mike. I'm sure everybody at home right now is wondering what happened on that 93 car of Dave Blaney when he come into pits. Whose fault was it? Why did the crew chief make him stop and put the nut back on? What goes on during a pit stop, and the way I look at it is the jack man is kind of like the quarterback. He starts this thing, he goes out, he jacks the car up on the right side. He's not supposed to drop it on the right until they got the lug nuts tight enough to where they can be let down. He comes around, he jacks the left side up, and he's not supposed to drop that jack. He knows that those tires are on there and tight. So sometimes when you're looking for who's got to make that call, it's not always the crew chief. It could be the jack man. He's the one that makes the final call. He's the one that drops the jack and tells the driver to go. The 88 car looks like a Dale Jarrett. He's making a move up through the field. Back to you, Mike.
It's the UPS cam on board Jarrett, who presently is in 4th place, right behind Sterling Marlin.
Well, that team's one of the best. I've said it before. They're one of the best at taking an ill-handling car and just keep tweaking on that thing. Little tire pressure, little wedge adjustment. First thing you know, there they are in your rearview mirror.
Definitely, Dale Jarrett does a great job of telling Todd Parrott, his crew chief, what it's doing. Todd Parrott does a great job orchestrating the changes that makes that thing better toward the end of the day. Here you see wide open throttle down into turn 3. Down the middle of turn 3 and 4, falls down about 158 miles an hour. RPM start crawling back up, down the tri-oval, wide open throttle. Start and finish line right there. Still wide open, 8,600, 86, 8,800, 193 miles an hour off into turn 1.
That tells me he has picked up the pace. When he's doing 188, turning that many RPM, he's after it.
We'll keep an eye on him. Right now, he is 3.1 seconds off the lead. Behind Jarrett is Matt Kenseth. Behind Kenseth, Dale Earnhardt Jr. This race is for 5th place.
And Junior had to fight his way back from that, longest line restart too. So he's done a great job of getting himself back in the race. Harvick's up there in 2nd, and we got a car slow down here in turn 4. Kyle Petty.
Remember, this is the first race that he has been in since Daytona. Missed the last 2 races at Rockingham and Las Vegas.
And that's how you get behind. That's how you get behind on everything. Car development, engine development. When you don't run the races, you can't make your car better.
Kyle Petty has gone to the garage as we watch Matt Kenseth and Dale Earnhardt battle. For more on Matt Kenseth, Jeannie.
Well, guys, Jeff was just talking about life in the pits. Phil Dry, the front tire changer, actually has a broken finger. It happened 2 pit stops ago while he was changing a tire. They've taped it up, and actually Matt's last pit stop was their best of the day, so he's staying out there.
Thanks, Jeannie. We saw Sterling Marlin get past Kevin Harvick. That's 2nd place.
He's fixed to get passed again by Dale Jarrett on 88, right up against him at the start-finish line, going out into turn 1, has the momentum, takes the position away.
And that car bobbling, the 29 car bobbling that way, it's just all the air coming off the front of Dale Jarrett's car. It literally blows him over when he gets up the side of it. I think the 93's back on pit road, guys.
Oh, Mark Martin's in trouble up in turn 2, and caution is out.
And 93's on pit road.
Job of hanging on, buddy. At least the car ain't hurt.
Now the 93 shoots straight through. Will Jerry Nadeau let Jeff Gordon have his lap back?
Oh, by all means.
Yes, teammates.
He better.
And Mark Martin will coast toward the garage. Now, here's Nadeau coming around to the caution flag.
Well, he's way ahead of Gordon right here, so he's got to about lock it down to give Gordon. I'm telling you, that's when the guys on the roof are hollering, back it down, let Jeff get his lap back.
And they're having to do it in a big hurry.
In a hurry, because they wasn't expecting the caution.
Martin takes it straight to the garage. Whoa, and almost, well, he misses the turn.
Oil on his tires. A lot of oil on the tires. He just couldn't get it turned in there. Plus, he rode around on the bottom of the racetrack. Tires get built up on him. She won't turn.
Joe Nemechek's crew had to jump for cover. Close call. Here's what happened down in turn 1.
Right where she turns the most RPM, Larry. Right about 8,800 right there. And they just won't take that. 500 miles is hard on these engines.
Boy, look at it. He had his hands full, oil getting all underneath those rear wheels. He chases up the racetrack. You heard one of the crew members say, good job hanging on. Pit road is a busy place again.
And guess who gets to come in with the leaders?
Jeff Gordon.
Jeffy boy.
Matt?
And Jerry Nadeau comes in as the leader. His car's still tight. They're going to adjust with more air pressure and a chassis adjustment. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Sterling Marlin in for 4 tires as well. This will be just 4 tires. No chassis adjustments at all. Darren Wolf at the front. 25 cars out to Steve Burns.
Dick, this time they made no adjustments to the 88 of Dale Jarrett. The 40 is out. Kevin Harvick right behind. And surprise, surprise, again, no adjustments to that number 29. He's just going to drive the wheels off of it.
That was a pretty close call on pit road with the 40 and the 25 car.
Again.
Yeah, again.
And Jeff Gordon back on the lead lap. Thanks to an Alphonse and Gaston routine.
Here we got the left rear off the 93 car. They've got to have a lug stud problem. They've been having trouble with that left rear. They've got to have a lug problem. This is the left rear tire off Dave Blaney's rolling down the backstretch here.
Can you imagine the heartbreak to have a car that good, a car capable of winning a Winston Cup race, and have a failure like that?
Matt, what's going on with him?
Guys, he was going to hit pit road when the caution came out, so he drove on through. He was complaining something did not feel right. It felt like the left rear tire was going to come off, but they did not want to lose any more time, so he went back out, and now even more trouble for the 93 car of Dave Blaney.
He ain't gonna want to hear it, but you picked a fine time to leave me loose, wheel.
More, not more of that, but more racing after this.
NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, presented by UPS on Fox, is brought to you by Viagra. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you. By Autotrader.com, the biggest, best used car site on the planet. By Wendy's Honey Ham and Chicken Sandwich. It's all the buzz. And by Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's, improving home improvement.
Welcome back to NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, presented by UPS on Fox. 235 laps complete. We are under caution for Mark Martin's engine. Give us a second to look at the point standings in the other major NASCAR Touring Series. In the NASCAR Busch Series, Jeff Green, after yesterday's race here in Atlanta, is the point leader by 5 over Greg Biffle, and Kevin Harvick, who will run that whole season, holds third in the standings. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, after 2 races, Scott Riggs 5 over rookie Ricky Hendrick, and then Joe Ruttman, Randy Tolsman, Jack Sprague, former champ, rounds the top 5. We are under caution because of misfortune to Dave Blaney after his pit stop, or rather that happened during the caution. It was Mark Martin who put us under caution with engine trouble. But look what happens to Blaney after exiting the pit. Away goes the left rear.
Boy, that's a sad feeling for the driver, and it is a sick feeling for a crew chief.
I just feel so, I hope he wasn't offended by my song, but I feel so sorry for him. Have a car that good, and to have it all go down the tube.
You might as well laugh about it, Darrell, because crying won't help. So Dave Blaney gets hauled back to the garage area, and we'll be back with more NASCAR on Fox after this. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Dale Jarrett, Matt Kenseth, Jerry Nadeau, the leaders after pit stops under caution for Mark Martin's apparent blown engine. Let's go down to the Hammond Hotel.
What a great race today. Have you had a good time today, Amy? It's been a great race.
Wonderful time.
I'm telling you.
Excellent.
It's been wonderful.
This is the way to see a race, too, in a hot tub, Jeff. The Hollywood Hotel, you really know how to take care of me at the races. I mean,
Well, hey, I told you I'd take care of it. Look, I'm listening right now. I'm telling you.
What's going on?
We're about to probably close this thing out. It's getting pretty close to the end of the day here, so we better probably get back inside and get ready.
We're going to have to wrap things up. You know,
you got your notes ready?
The guys in the booth are always so tense when they call a race. They should sit back and relax and enjoy.
They just don't understand how to live. I try to tell the guys up there, I try to tell Darrell and Larry, they had to get in the groove.
I didn't notice they added that extra suite onto the Hollywood Hammond Hotel.
You know what that is? That's a couple of slow leaks right there.
We're going to go green.
There's a line there, but I'm going to leave it on the table.
Thank goodness we're going green.
Just under 100 laps to go. Dale Jarrett, Matt Kenseth.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch,
Jerry Nadeau, Sterling Marlin, and Bobby Labonte are the top 5 as we go back to green.
Look who's leading the race.
He started out there, and he's back up there again.
Overcame that pit road penalty and marched it right back up front.
Guess what? This is when you find out how good everybody is. This is when you let it all hang out right here. Let the rough side drag, boys. Gas it and go. Old Junior called me up and said, Darrell, you want $250,000 or you want 75? That's all he had to ask me. And by the way, you ain't laying down on me, are you, boy?
Looking out of Tony Stewart's car again. Tony a lap down. Look at 3 wide here. Michael Waltrip, Bobby Labonte had to get out of the throttle. Todd Bodine goes by. Ricky Rudd goes by.
Jeannie.
In the 18 cars, he doesn't have much control. We're told he just lost a cylinder.
Ooh. Well, it's going to make my prediction a little sorry for the day.
Bad news for Bobby Labonte. Now, that engine's still running, but running on 7 cylinders.
This is kind of reminiscent of last week when they had a problem with that thing, and at the end of the day, it was barely running.
Wasn't last week a fuel pickup problem?
Well, that's what they called it in the beginning, but I think it was something else. Man, we're going to have a pass for the lead here. Come on, here comes Nadeau. Nadeau's all over the back of Jarrett. Now he's all over the side of him.
And now we got the 19th lead change of the day if he can hold on to it for a lap.
Now he's in his rearview mirror. Wow. Boy, he powered that thing down in there.
He has got a stronger car here, I believe, as he did back in November.
When he won this race last fall. Tell you another guy that's not looking too bad is Kansas. He's right there, closing up on the back of Dale Jarrett as well. And don't forget, old Jeffy's back there coming up through there too.
Jeff Gordon is up to 12th.
Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There he goes. Now you can believe one thing. He has got that thing to the mat.
Battling Terry Labonte and Ken Schrader. Those are lead lap cars, and we see a little smoke from the back of Bobby Labonte's Pontiac.
Oh yeah, and where there's smoke, there's always a little fire. .32's off the pace on the pit lane.
Trouble for Ricky Craven.
He's had a great day.
That was a lead lap car. Jeannie?
Well, I'll tell you guys, it's been a tough couple of laps for the 32 car. It started out with an oil pressure problem, and now they believe they may have blown a cylinder as well.
It's all those low gears, Larry. I told you yesterday, you can't turn these motors 88, 89, 9,000 for 500 miles. This ain't no 400-mile race.
And this is a hanging RPM. We've seen it on the telemetry. It don't lose many RPMs in the middle of the quarter. You're at max RPMs when you cross the start-finish line. It just gets up there and hangs. It just hammers those valves.
I don't know why these boys won't believe what I'm trying to tell them. I told them that yesterday.
Sterling Marlin has gone past Matt Kenseth. That's for third place. You see Marlin on the left of your screen. And let's get an update on Dave Blaney from Matt.
Dave Blaney sits quietly but very frustrated in his race car. They replaced the hub. When the car came in, all the lugs were missing. They took the hub off, put a new hub on. Right now they're running the rear end just to see what it looks like before they put another tire back on. Now Tommy Hubert's going to put a tire on. They're going to discuss whether to send him back out. It looks like it, but a very tough break for Dave Blaney.
He's fallen to 39th place, sitting behind pit wall while repairs are made.
Another guy back in there that's checking out pretty good too and making some big passes is Dale Jr. I tell you what, I think the speeds are up. That's what's getting these motors, Larry, because look how much the track's cooled off. When we started,
track temperature, that's what we look at. It started at 92 degrees, done fell down 3 degrees to 89 degrees. And that'll also mean these cars will start tightening up. They'll start not biting the front wheels as much, but again, run faster, more RPMs.
They'll start handling better. When the track cools down, they start getting that grip. They get back in the gas. They see that big number at the end of the straightaway.
Jeff Gordon's coming. He's tracking Johnny Benson, the 8th place car, number 10.
Oh, that baby is down in them. I see a little smoke coming off them flames. Ooh, she's hunting. Get him, boy.
They'll work past Michael Waltrip, who is laps down. It's the Napa onboard camera from Waltrip. Jeff Gordon owes his teammate, Jerry Nadeau.
Oh, but not in the way you say that as if he owes him something.
Well,
actually, what he owes him is the courtesy to not pass him if he does catch him, because he wouldn't be in the position he's in if Nadeau had not have backed off, locked it up, and slid the tires so he could get his lap back.
Right. So he owes Jerry Nadeau a favor.
Right now, he's almost 8 seconds behind his teammate, Jerry Nadeau. But one thing we hadn't talked about, when that last caution come out, everybody still will have to make a pit stop. We still, if it should stay green, everybody will have to pit.
And Nadeau started up on the front. He's in clear traffic. I mean, he doesn't have anybody in his way. And Gordon's got to come through everybody to get to him. So he's got a monumental job ahead of him to get up there and race him for the win.
Chevy, Ford, Dodge, Chevy. At the front.
How'd you like that? Monumental.
Monumental.
Hey, I ain't no slow leak like them cats down yonder are.
Clear.
All right, let's cycle back here and look at the intervals behind Jerry Nadeau. First, Dick Berggren.
In the Human Resources Department of this afternoon's Big League Automobile Race, let me tell you what a crew chief is and what a car chief is. Crew chief's a guy who has to take care of the media. He has got to make all the calls about when the car comes in, what they're going to do to it on pit stops. The car chief is the guy who handles just the mechanical end of things. Well, the car chief on car 25, driven by Jerry Nadeau today, ordinarily is Gordon Gibbs. But when Tony Furr, the regular crew chief, was suspended for 4 weeks for a violation at Daytona, Gordon Gibbs was told, you will now be the crew chief as well as the car chief. Well, Gibbs hates his new job, even though his car is in the lead. He said he really doesn't like it. He likes having wrenches in his pocket. He doesn't like having to deal with us in the media, the pit stops, or any of the rest of it. He is most anxious for Tony Furr to return. I don't know. He may change his mind if he wins this thing, Mike.
Hey, buddy, let me explain something to you. All the races I won, I had one guy that did it all. I mean, I don't know about this crew chief, car chief, and all these specialists. I had one guy, and he had to do everything.
But what happened, it's become a lot like a football team. You've got the head coach. He's the crew chief. He's the one that kind of looks over everything, and he's got to surround himself with a good defensive coordinator, good offensive coordinator. If for whatever reason, the head football coach gets sick or can't get fired or whatever, one of the coordinators steps up, he becomes the head coach.
All right, now, is Jeff Gordon coming? Last lap, Gordon was 9.8 off the lead. Now he's 10.5.
Well, he's hung up in traffic. He had a really tough time there with some traffic. And a couple of cars boxed him in, and he had to back out of it for a little bit there. I'm not sure what the problem is now, though.
Bill Elliott's fought hard all day, and that number 9 Evernham Dodge, 17th place, a lap down.
His car, Gordon's car still looks like it's pretty fast to me. Dropped to the bottom and got around Bill Elliott, and we'll check that interval and see what that does.
Now both Nadeau, the leader, and Gordon are clear of race traffic. Gordon, the 9th place car.
But Nadeau is coming to the line right now. Here he comes, and Gordon is going into turn 3. That's how far behind he is. And that looks like this many seconds. Here comes Gordon to the line.
And the interval's unchanged.
Dale Jarrett actually having the fastest lap right there.
So from the start-finish line, the leader to going into turn 3 is 11 seconds. And I don't even believe Jeff Gordon can make that up.
Ron Hornaday making a pit stop in the A.J. Foyt Pontiac. There's our Conseco onboard camera with Hornaday.
And man, stopping up under green is agonizing. 45 miles an hour, and he's all the way down at the end of pit lane. It takes forever.
Gonna look at left side tires on Hornaday as you watch the 2 leaders, Nadeau and Jarrett.
Dale Jarrett searching around a little bit. He'll run right up against the top of the racetrack. Then he'll move to the kind of the middle of the racetrack where Jerry Nadeau's running right there, just searching around. Todd Parrott giving him lap times. There you see, moves to the top side of the racetrack in 1 and 2, trying to see where he might be a little stronger, where Nadeau might be a little stronger.
Well, there's your 1st and 2nd place car, and really not all that far behind them comes the 3rd place car of Sterling Marlin, and then not too far back from that guy is old Dale Jr. He's been putting them down, picking them up pretty good too.
8th place, Jeff Gordon going past Johnny Benson. We talked to Jerry Nadeau about the intensity of the experience of winning here, his first win last November.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, the last 7 laps was amazing. I told my spotter right before the green flag, I said, make sure you give me a rundown of every lap till the last lap. And, well, we were getting down to about 4 laps to go, and I could barely hear what he was saying. And he started out, you know, saying, like, okay, 7 laps to go, 6 laps to go. Then it was like 5 laps to go, 3 laps to go. I mean, he couldn't talk. So that tells you how excited, you know, he was and the team was. And you know, after we did our donuts and come on pit road, every one of our guys on the team had a tear in their eye, and it tells you how competitive NASCAR racing is and how hard these guys work.
Well, he's a great young man. I tell you, he's going to be good, and he's got a great future ahead of him. And Good sponsor this year, good program. Ready to win some races.
Hope he's got a good mirror because it's getting filled up.
Ruh-roh. Here comes the truck.
For more on DJ, here's Steve.
Larry McReynolds, you are right. Todd Parrott, the crew chief on the number 88 for Dale Jarrett, is calling lap times. But DW, I'm curious. I've heard Todd Parrott say 3 times, DJ, take care of that right front tire. How in the heck are you supposed to do that going into the corner at 190 miles an hour?
Well, Steve, you really don't do it going in the corner. You back off a little early, but what he's telling him is don't get back in the throttle so hard that you get that right front pushing. You skating that front end. Let the car set. Let it take a set. Stay out of the throttle until the car is planted, and then get in it and go. And that's what you see him doing. Rolling out early, but getting in it nice and easy and running it off the corner with the front end pinned down to the ground.
Larry, I got a question for you. You're sitting up there on that box right now. What do? Do we take it to the full length of the fuel stop and come in and get 4 tires, or we're going to split the stop today?
No, I'm not going to split it, but they could go to about lap 295 to 300, but I am going to short pit just a little bit. We're just about getting ready to have a lead change here. About maybe lap 285, no question we're going to get 4 tires. Here comes DJ, 88 to the bottom side, here at the start-finish line, wanting that lead back.
Now, let me tell you two guys something. Like I told you last week, he just got the lead there. You come down pit road at 45 miles an hour, I'm going to lose a lap. And I don't want to be a lap down when that caution comes out. So y'all going to have to sit on that hot stove down there and sweat a little bit.
But, Darrell, you got to trust me on this. And I want those fresh tires a few laps earlier than my other competitors. Trust me.
All right, I'm listening. Remember one other thing. I've already got it now on tape. I heard you a minute ago. One guy does one thing. Let that crew chief right there sit on that stove for you, buddy. He'll take care of it.
Ron Hornaday just came back down pit road for another stop.
Well, my car's so good, I just wanted to call in and quiz you a little bit. I want to be sure you know that you're making the right call.
And I bet you one car that will come to pit road early will be the 24 car. He knows because he had that fuel problem earlier. Looking out the front windshield right here, started 23rd. We've talked about the tire here at Atlanta. Ricky Rudd and this race team is the one that come here in January and helped Goodyear confirm this is the tire they wanted to run here. Sometimes it helps a team to help Goodyear do the tire test that gets you long runs on the race tire.
Yeah, I don't say it helps the team. It absolutely is a big advantage, and that's why they have to rotate around a lot of different teams and let a lot of different teams do the tire test. We used to do them at juniors, and I always had an advantage when I went to a racetrack when they had a new tire.
Now, this tire will be used at a lot of the intermediate-sized tracks this year. In fact, more tracks will use this tire than any other particular tire construction that Goodyear's come up with this year.
Dale Jarrett really having to work a lot of traffic right here going underneath Jimmy Spencer. Jerry Nadeau's liking what he's seeing. There's the 18 car. Remember, he's on 7 cylinders. Dale Jarrett has to go to the low side to get by him on the front stretch.
Boy, takes a lot of confidence in the other guy when you can cut down in between a couple of guys like that. That was Kenny Wallace and Bobby Labonte, and he knew he could do that, and they'd give him room.
You know, it's going to be the second week in a row that Bobby Labonte does not finish on the lead lap, combined with being in the big wreck at Daytona. Tough start for the defending Winston Cup champion. Matt?
The temperature is dropping down on pit road. Gordon Gibbs and Jerry Nadeau were talking over the radio about what they're going to do on their final pit stop, which they would like to see around lap 280 to 285. They will make a significant adjustment. Moments before, Gordon had all the guys huddled around with their headsets off talking about the changes that they will make. They did not talk about it on the radio because the 24 team of Jeff Gordon is right next door. And they don't want to show their hand to Gordon or the leader, Dale Jarrett.
Noticing one thing a minute ago when they were showing that shot. The gentleman was talking to Gordon Gibbs. It's Ken Howes. He's been with Hendricks for a long time, worked with some of their GTP cars. Very, very smart guy, understands pit strategy very well.
Now, Jeff, one thing I know they won't do, I don't think they'll do with success, is even with about 25 or 30 laps to go, they will not try just 2 right side tires, because Goodyear has toughened this right side tire up. It's really been making those left side tires work and wear. Wouldn't you agree?
I definitely agree with that right now. If you don't get 4 tires here today, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot, and your driver's going to come looking for you, especially if you're leading this race.
I know DW wants 4 tires.
Well, it depends on where I was running. I just got to tell you, if I was back in there somewhere and I was pretty good, just decent, I didn't have a shot at winning it, I'd roll the dice. I'd come in, get me 2 tires and a splash of gas and I'd get to the end. Now, I know I'm going to get outrun, but I'm going to have such a huge track advantage that they're going to have to catch me.
You're going to have a track advantage.
They're going to catch you, all right. They're going to run all over you is what's going to happen.
I tell you, a guy that's in the picture here, guys, don't count him out, is this little guy right here, Dale Jr. He's been moving up through there. He's in 4th place. 17's right there with him, Matt Kenseth, and Sterling Marlin is right ahead of him. Got some cars that are still in this race. Look, that's Kenseth right back there. He's just drafting Dale Jr., and they're making pretty good time right now.
And it is so good for everyone in this sport to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. have a strong run.
He's carrying the team this weekend. Park's out. Michael's had trouble. It's Dale Jr.'s time to shine.
But this is the man they are all chasing. Twice in a row.
Trouble over here in turn 3.
Flaming Kenseth slides, hits the wall.
Boy, that's ugly.
That birthday cake had way too many candles on.
Yeah,
look at all the smoke inside that car.
Man, that's an oil fire.
He's got the window net down. He wants out of there.
Come on, buddy. Come on, hop out there.
He's okay, Darrell.
He's got the Hans. He's got the Hans on. That's his device right here. You can get out with it on. That's the Hans device he has on. He got up out of there.
Caution, of course, is out at lap 275.
See, that's what people don't realize. When you got to get out of there, you got incentive like he had to get out of there, you'll figure out a way to come up out of that thing.
That looked like, never mind birthday candle, that looked like a Roman candle
that was
turn 3.
That was ugly, Mike. I mean, that's an oil fire. That's what happened. The engine blew and just got oil all over the headers, and thing caught on fire.
From Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s bud cam.
See a little smoke coming out of it? Then she just ignites like a Roman candle.
I'd say the whole bottom end come out of that motor, and this is the second Roush car that has blown up today, plus Jeff Burton, another Roush car, is out there on 7 cylinders.
Too much gear.
And they will pull some low gear.
Oh, they will. They'll pull lower than anybody. Whoa, look at that.
That's not a fuel fire. That is an oil fire.
Looks like John Force going down the straightaway on a drag strip. Boy. And of course he's
already getting the window net down.
He's got the window net down, and the smoke is, I'm sure, is just about to choke him to death. But you can see that oil coming out underneath the car and going on those hot headers. Those header pipes under there are about 1,500 degrees.
And Bobby Labonte's race may not last much longer. He's puffing out both pipes.
With 50 laps to go, I think it's on its dying leg.
Well, that's the same thing. That's how it looked last week. And he'll probably nurse it to the finish, but obviously out of contention. I can't predict blown motors. I'm just sorry.
Pit road's open.
Critical pit stops right here. Where is Jimmy Spencer going into 26?
Don't know.
He's racing, man.
And he's not even on the lead lap. So
no, but if he keeps doing that, he will be. He'll be on the lead lap of everybody.
All right, let's go to Matt.
The 25 car of Jerry Nadeau hits first. They're going to make significant changes. A wedge and also track bar adjustment. 4 tires. Shane Parsnell already dances across to the front. Tony Ham to the left rear. Let's go to Dick Berggren in the 8 pit.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. here on the pit road, going to take 4 tires, just like you guys in the booth said they were going to. Let's go to Steve.
Dick, no adjustments for Dale Jarrett, just 4 tires. He's out at 15 seconds flat.
That's world class, and it puts him back in the lead.
And one thing that helped his pit stop, he was at an end pit. How you pick your pits is by how you qualified. All he had to do is move about 10 feet to beat all those other guys out. Plus, they had a good pit stop.
Darrell, those end pits are asphalt. The other pits are concrete. Is there any difference in getting launched from that pit?
Maybe a little bit, but I actually think he's back on the concrete. And the only thing wrong with that pit is when you have to pit under green
flag stop.
A caution flag, yeah, a caution flag's great. That's where you want to be, but man, you're put a little tough there under green.
Uh-oh, Kenny Schrader, look at that. Catch can.
You know, he's got it hidden in there nicely, though. I barely can see it. You sure that's not a can of dog food?
The catch can go away, but this smoke's not going away.
No, he's well, I think he's coming down pit road. Yeah, I think that's a can of dog food back there.
And what's holding that thing in there, there's a little probe, and that's how you open the vent that lets the fuel flow into the fuel cell.
And there's a little penalty waiting for him when he comes back to remove it.
That's how you let the dogs out.
Jeannie is with Bobby Labonte's car.
Well, a lot of smoke from the 18 car, but believe it or not, this is just a usual pit stop. He's going to get 4 tires here, trying to keep it clean. And his bottom line right now is keep that RPM up so that he doesn't smoke as much and keep the engine going till the end.
Oh, that thing sounds awful.
All right, Schrader came back in. Remove the can, stop and go. Remember last week in Las Vegas, Dale Earnhardt Jr. left his pit with a catch can attached.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty.
Now, he was trying to get rid of that before he left pit road, but the rule says you have to get rid of it before you leave your pit.
Right, and what it was, the difference in this, that was under green flag, so he had to come back in for a stop and go. These guys will have to go to the tail end of the longest line.
It's a tough break for Schrader, who's been on the lead lap all day. We'll be right back to Atlanta with more NASCAR on Fox. Darrell, was it hard to come here last November knowing it was the last time you'd climb in that car?
Well, it really was. You know, I've done this so long. Like I like to say, I've been getting up all my life and every Sunday putting a helmet on and going to a racetrack and racing. And I really, it was the most difficult thing I've ever had to do, knowing that that was the last time I was going to sit behind the wheel of a race car. But I got to tell you, I sure am getting the itchy feet again.
Oh, I don't know. You may have traded that helmet for a headset, but we're glad to have you up here.
Well, I'm having, you know, this actually has turned out to be a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. The Fox people, you guys, Larry, Mike, everybody down and Jeff and everybody, Chris, it's just made it, we're having a, I don't know if anybody else having any fun or not, but I am.
Let's hope they are. Let's see if they have drained the hot tub down in the Hammond Hotel.
All right, well, we're always ready to go, right? I think that.
What are they talking about?
I don't know. That we're always here working
miss us
hard.
Or something?
That hot tub research paying off. I want to talk about the last
right
series.
now, I would like to point out,
Yes.
If everybody's paying attention, my colleague here picked Dale Jarrett to win this thing, and I do believe the 88 car is leading the race.
But we have a lot of race to go. Now, what should we look for? Jerry Nadeau, who won this race back in November, is second. Kevin Harvick has run a terrific race, is also in the hunt, but it looks like Jarrett is right where he wants him. And again, Ford it's been all Chevy so far in the first 3 Winston Cup races.
Well, that's been the hard thing right now. I think Jarrett's fast on some short runs, but what I'm really concerned about is whether or not he can do it, you know, long on a long run. But another guy right there is kind of laying in the weeds is, don't forget old Sterling Marlin. He is the point leader, and he's been hanging around that top 5 all day long. He's got that Dodge working really well.
And the reason he's the points leader, he has finished among the top 10 in all 3 races so far. That last pit stop, we saw Dale Jarrett take advantage. What was it, 15 seconds, maximizing the opportunity.
Always have a good pit stop. Those guys are some of the best around. But one thing right now they got going for them, and Larry pointed it out, being in that end pit, you get an opportunity to jump over the line and you can get it done. Hey, you messing with me again? Huh? Look, I got one too. Where you at? I can write
There's a guy that's all hat and no cattle. I just didn't know if anybody.
I can get you back. I can get you back.
Let's roll. Do we have that recap? Let's go back to lap 143. There's a couple of instances that happened here when Jeff Gordon was actually allowed in the race by teammate Jerry Nadeau. Yeah, we do have that, right? Right, Richie Z and already have that rolling. Yes, we don't have it. We don't have it yet. Okay, we're gonna hear from Matt. There's Felix Sabates down there watching. Yep. We'll get to that recap in a moment. Let's go down to Matt. Matt Yoakum.
Owner Rick Hendrick of the 25 car was on his radio to his driver Jerry Nadeau. They were talking about, under caution, what Jerry would like if he actually wins the race. Jerry thought about it, said, well, boss, I'd like a new truck. He says, really, is that it? He goes, well, no, actually, I'd like a new BMW. Can you help me out with that? He goes, well, I think so, but if you lose, I'm going to fire you. And they started laughing, and Jerry came back out and said, well, actually, boss, I really could use a new engine for my dirt car I'm going to run next month in Charlotte.
That headset Rick Hendrick had on is something brand new. It's noise canceling. I tried one on the other day, and it wipes out all the car noise from the Speedway. It costs $900, and for what's, I'd say it's worth it.
Well, I'd like to have one of those, particularly when Jeff is calling up here and talking to us.
Well, there's old Smokey.
Yeah, you got old Smokey beside you, too. Don't forget that, Mike. I'm listening down here. I'm paying attention. The one thing I'd like to talk about, Darrell, is that when we saw Matt Kenseth's car burst into flames when the engine exploded, I think everybody needs to understand from a driver's perspective what's going on inside there as far as the flames that are coming in and why is he so urgent to get out of the car and what's happening then?
I mean, look at out of the race. In 5 of these 6 cars that's out of the race has been blown motors. Darrell, we've talked about it. We talked about it early in the race. RPMs. hanging RPMs, not RPMs just spikes up there, gets up there, hangs at that 88, 8900, just more than these motors can take.
Yeah, what we're talking about when he talks about hanging, it's the harmonics. It's like holding a streetcar engine wide open. You can rev it up all you want to, but when you hold it up there at a certain RPM for a long period of time, things start to harmonic. When they harmonic, they break.
Buckshot Jones back on pit road, and again, the hood goes up on that Petty car. He's made several pit stops. Let's get a further update on Bobby Labonte from Jeannie.
Yeah, the 18 car very disappointed right now because it is deja vu all over again. Bobby Labonte saying the car feels exactly like it did last week, but they had the fuel pressure problem and he stayed out a few laps and then blew a piston. They're literally going to have to go back to the shop, guys, and go through the box of parts and figure out if they have a bad batch, and that could be the problem. But Darrell, my question to you is, how can he keep going out there? He's smoking like a cigar and he's down a cylinder.
Well, he can keep going because he's got 8 of them. he's only used up a couple so far, so, you know, if he doesn't run out of cylinders, he'll be all right. But what they've got is that probably exactly what you hit on there is a bad batch of pistons, possibly. And they're burning these pistons. Seen it happen in the past. Start a new season, you get all your new parts in inventory. First thing you know, you go look in that bin number. That particular set of pistons was made, but a whole bunch of others, and you go through them and you throw them all away.
And what'll drive these engine builders crazy till they figure out what the problem is, they're liable to have 7 or 8 race motors already built, ready to go for 3 or 4 races in advance. They have to find out, go back and tear all those motors apart. He continues to come to pit road more and more, just trying to nurse that thing for these last 45 laps. But until they can figure it out, it'll drive them crazy.
And what he did that time was just roll through to go to the tail end of the line. Labonte coming back out, and also there's Robert Yates, also a renowned engine builder, in addition to owning the Jarrett and Rudd cars. Bud Strickland also made a pit stop with 1 to go. Next weekend, historic Darlington, South Carolina. Qualifying on Fox Sports Net Saturday, the NASCAR Busch Race and Winston Cup practice on FX. Then Sunday, on the net, NASCAR This Morning and NASCAR Victory Lane bookend our coverage on Fox of the NASCAR Carolina Dodge Dealers 400. Be with us at 12:30 p.m. next Sunday, Eastern Time.
You know, one question that has been asked a lot is why, as fast as they are here, don't we run restrictor plates? I've actually been part of a restrictor plate test here. The problem was it slowed them down on the straightaways. They run wide open through the corners. The end result was the same speed. So that's one reason we don't run restrictor plates here at Atlanta.
Getting set for this restart at lap 283, 42 to go. And we're back to green. Dale Jarrett, Jerry Nadeau, Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Johnny Benson are the front 5.
Just real quick, while they get up to speed here, you think about the 20 car, he had the same motor program. He hadn't had any trouble. So it just could be real confusing sometimes.
And that 20 car of Tony Stewart unable to get a lap back from Dale Jarrett.
Boy, that 25 is, man, he is on the bottom and coming. Here he comes.
Ooh,
cut that thing. Oh, well, he cut it. Had to cut it real hard to get down under Dale Jarrett.
Nadeau back to the lead. 21st lead change today.
And here comes Harvick. Here comes Dale Jr. We got ourselves a pretty good little hot rod race here, boys.
We're not going to do any noise canceling, Darrell. We're going to let the folks at home feel what it's like to be at a Winston Cup race. The pictures tell the story, and you'll feel the power if you crank it up. Kevin Harvick up and underneath Dale Jarrett.
It's a battle for second place right here.
And don't forget, just like Larry pointed out, that's a car that finished second here last year, and he's got himself in a really good position right now to do it again.
How about Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that red number 8 car? He's going to follow Harvick on the bottom side here below Dale Jarrett.
I've been watching Jr., and he has been easing his way right up there into the fight.
Doesn't Dale Jarrett's car seem best the longer we run under green? But just after a restart, He's not the class of the field.
We've seen that all day long.
And Nadeau has shot out there to a pretty good lead, and it's kind of like that story we always talk about, good on long runs, but you can't let that leader get too far away.
Speeds as of this instant, along with our Fox ticker, as Kevin Harvick tries to work past Dale Jarrett.
And as the track temperature goes down, as it cools off out there, you see these speeds are getting higher and higher and higher.
There he is. The Flames is back in the picture there. This is a battle for the 5th position right here. Jeff Gordon coming to a little money last week with that $1 million, trying to get the 2nd win of this 2001 season.
And we know that thing will run because we saw him lead this race until he ran out of fuel. If I was driving that 25 car, I'd be looking in my mirror saying, here come my teammate.
There we've been told that the track temperature is down to 79 degrees. These old motors, these old chassis, they're just loving that cool racetrack right there.
Oh, yeah, the cars handle better.
Started out with 92, down to 79. That's a big change in track temperature.
Here comes Gordon having a look at Marlin. Marlin instead is going to go after Earnhardt Jr.
Sterling's car is really good on the bottom.
Now, last week on the last pit stop, they made a change in Sterling Marlin's car and went backwards.
Whoa, he squeezed up there in front of Dale Jr. Matter of fact, he didn't quite make it. 31 just bounced off the wall, guys. Caution's out.
Looks like everyone will get past Mike Skinner.
Same thing we saw happen yesterday, Mike. The speeds go up, the track cools down, and you start running faster, and they get up in the wall.
They will come back to the line, and I don't see a lead lap car in touch with the leader. Stewart was the first of those lead lap cars, and he's pretty well back. Gordon and Earnhardt Jr.
Jeff Gordon is deciding that he might want to race people back to the line, and that's, wow, usually something we don't do.
Darrell, I believe that he and Earnhardt Jr. were side by side as that caution came out. Gordon trying to get that position worked out as they came around.
Normally, you kind of, if you're not racing anybody, you just kind of hold your hand up and hold your position.
There you see Skinner right there, all the way up the top of the racetrack. Gets up in that gray stuff. Just not enough racetrack up there. Just as turn 4 gets a little bit loose up there, up in that stuff where you can't have no grip, Darrell.
No, and you see all the dust and the dirt and the rubber, and there's nothing you can do. I tell you, the wall down there in the middle of 3 and 4 is black, where people have been rubbing up against it.
From the Lowe's onboard camera.
Gets in just a little too high. Oh, the back end snapped around just a little bit.
He was lucky nobody ran over him. There was a bunch of cars right behind him.
Look at this wall. Man, this thing was painted last night. It was fresh this morning.
Now, Darrell, we've only run 8 laps, but we got 30-something to go. I'm going to give you 4 more tires. They've been running them tires hard.
Let me think about that a minute.
Pit road's open.
There they come. Come on with them, Darrell.
Staying out.
Oh, Jarrett's staying out.
Staying out. Sterling Marlin, Jarrett.
Sterling Marlin, yeah, stayed out.
And the rookie stayed out. So I was, man, I don't know. I'd have been jacking on that steering wheel. Yeah, I'm coming. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm coming. No, I'm not. We'll see. Got to remember something. 88 runs better after he runs a little bit. So he's probably on kind of low air. We'll see if that doesn't pay off for him.
Here's Matt.
Jerry Nadeau asking for only 2 tires, trying to cut a deal with his crew chief Gordon Gibbs, but Gibbs won out. It is a 4-tire stop. He was a little tight. They adjusted air pressure.
4 tires for Kevin Harvick. Mike Luke on the front, Ronaldo on the back. The 29 is down and off pit road. It looks like in front of the 25.
He is, Steve. Here's Dick.
Earnhardt Jr.'s team had decided that they were going to pit no matter what. Even if no one else came in, they were going to do it. The reason, Earnhardt Jr.'s car was very tight. They threw 4 tires at it, tried to loosen it up a bit. The 40, Sterling Marlin, did not pit. He stayed out on pit road on that one, Mike.
Dale Jarrett and Sterling Marlin stayed on the speedway. Everyone else pitted. Jeff?
One other thing you might have noticed there, Mike, all the other lap cars were on the pit road at the same time with the leaders. That's what they call a quickie caution. And when they call that, the pit road is open for all competitors to come down, lead cars or lap cars. So you had a lot of congestion on pit road. And that might have had some influence on those decisions of who pitted and who didn't.
Yeah, quite honestly, I'm surprised they threw a caution because he got in the wall and there was nobody around him that got into trouble. But I guess they were afraid he might have gotten some debris out in the racing groove.
You know, Kevin Harvick, he won the race off pit road. Again, he's got that second pit, which was right behind where Dale Jarrett is. He only had to go about 30 feet to beat all those guys off pit road. They had a good pit stop as well.
We're on one to go. Bobby Hamilton is pitted, so is Joe Nemechek. Robert Presley is in with Brett Bodine and Mike Skinner with damage.
His car doesn't look that bad. It looks kind of like some of those cars did yesterday in the Busch race, and they ended up finishing pretty good. So we'll see what happens. He's going to put left sides on it.
Hey, Larry, I just want to let you know, buddy, I think 4 tires is the way to go, too.
I guarantee you. You just watch these boys got 4 tires here.
Matt Lee, TV time.
But Jerry Nadeau sure wanted those 2 tires, though, DW. He was begging for only 2 tires. He thought that might be the trick. They went with 4. Now he says, guys, don't talk to me for the rest of the race. All I want you guys to do is clear me. They said, good. He drives better when he's mad anyways.
All right, now, Dale Jarrett has 17 more laps on his tires. So does Sterling Marlin than the rest of these lead lap cars.
But I know why Gordon Gibbs would not put 2 tires on this board. Different race, different week, different tire. 2 tires at Las Vegas last week burnt these guys.
It did. Yeah, he tried that last week. Didn't work. But if you're going to come in, these crews are fast enough now that between 4 or 2, I'd take the 4 if I'm going to come down pit road, under caution particularly.
When they come around, 31 laps to go. Can Kevin Harvick pull off his first Winston Cup win?
That's Richard Childress. That's Harvick's car owner.
Can Sterling Marlin give Dodge its first Winston Cup win in decades? We're about to find out as Dale Jarrett hauls him off into turn 1, trying to win Ford's first race of this season.
Marlin's got his hands full with those 4 tires.
What you got to remember, when you stayed out, you've picked up a lot of trash on your tires. You're out there with the hot tires. It takes a little bit to get them cleaned off.
Can Jeff Gordon come from 5th on this?
Whoa, look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Get all over the back of the Jeff Gordon in that 24 car.
I mean, he just rooted him right up out of his way. That's another thing about coming in and getting 4 tires. You fall back in there, we've got to race a lot of people.
Junior roughed up Gordon pretty well. Now they're side by side once again.
Still there. Clear up. All clear.
Tony Stewart backing up in the middle of the pack there. And that's the teammate to Bobby Labonte's car, which has engine trouble.
He's done. He's off the pace, brought it on the apron. It's more than a flat tire.
Earnhardt Jr. got past Gordon. Dick.
He's a bit agitated out there right now, Mike. The car stalled when he was trying to come into pit road for his pit stop. That's happened a couple of times today. He got on the radio and he was really hot. He said, we've just got to fix this. So he's a bit annoyed out there. Got to keep it under control, though. Race is winding down to the end.
Well, these young drivers got to race for the lead here, and I think Nadeau's going to probably zap her buddy up here, Jarrett. But these young drivers, you got to remember something. Now is when you've got to be your calmest and your coolest if you're going to win a Winston Cup race.
4 fresh tires.
Them old 4 fresh tires down there to the bottom. Get down there. Clear. Get down there.
Ain't over yet, baby. We got a long way to go yet, man. I might be all right.
Nadeau edging ahead of Jarrett. That's the 23rd lead change today. And for 3rd, here comes Harvick inside of Marlin.
Junior's right there with him. Boys, we got ourselves a real race on our hands right now. We got some guys coming up through here that are going to be serious contenders. This ain't make-believe. This is for real.
Can they keep this up for 28 more laps?
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you.
Track's cooled down. Sun's gone down.
Boy, Junior, that's the 2nd time going into turn 1. That back end of that car just shook loose.
Yeah, he's just driving it down in there. He sees those leaders. He wants a part of this.
And that's where Gordon is best. When he can see the leader, that's when he's at his best. And he can see him now. Well, it's his teammate.
He knows he's got plenty of time. I mean, it's still like...
Still there.
Gordon coming, but you see Junior and Sterling Marlin side by side.
All clear.
Sterling something happened to Sterling.
Smoke for Marlin's car.
Lost the motor.
Kaboom.
Caution.
Okay, caution's going to be out. Caution's out.
Lap 300, 8th caution of the day.
Oh, it's a shame. Another good running Dodge that had a chance to win.
Nadeau brings it back to the line, and for the 2nd week in a row, the point leader falls out of the race.
Yeah, that was too bad. Something internally snapped in that engine. But boys, this is when that happens. I mean, the last little bit of these this is 500 miles. This isn't one of those little short races. It's in a short track. This is 500 miles on a really fast super speedway.
And Sterling Marlin just lacked 25 laps from hanging on to the point lead. Let's see what happened here. Right in front of Jeff Gordon. There it goes.
Jeff did a good job of just kind of turning down out behind Sterling. Obviously, Sterling's engine gave him a little warning, but that could have been disastrous if Jeff had run in the back of him.
Now Tony Stewart comes back on pit road, and he's smoking.
He's got a right front tire flat, looks like.
Yep. And Robert Presley there with the hood up as well.
Boy, watch how close Gordon gets to Sterling there. Makes the right move.
All right, we only got 10 cars now on the lead lap. We've run 6 laps.
That's off Tony Stewart's car.
These cats going to come in again.
Nadeau stays out. Jarrett stays out. Looks like everybody stays out.
Well, that tells you that Jarrett's happy with his deal. You know, he could have come in.
I'll show you what happened to Tony Stewart here.
He's got a right front tire down.
Saw the whole tread of the tire come off right there rolling down the racetrack.
Sheet metal. Got it up in the sheet metal and they cut the tread off the tire.
24 laps to go. Pit stops complete, but Sterling Marlin falls by the wayside. We'll be right back with more NASCAR on Fox presented by UPS. At Atlanta Motor Speedway, this is what 120,000 plus came to see, a shootout. 22 laps to go. Can Jerry Nadeau make it 2 in a row? Can Dale Jarrett put the Ford in victory lane for the first time this year? Can Kevin Harvick win in only his 3rd Winston Cup race? Can 4th place Dale Earnhardt Jr. be the 3rd Dale Earnhardt Incorporated driver to win this year? And can Jeff Gordon come from a lap down to make it 2 in a row?
Man, I don't know. I can't answer all those questions right now, but
no answers.
But I know it's going to be exciting. I know that. It's going to be exciting.
Right behind that top 5, Reed Morton, Nelson Bowers, Tom Beard. They own Schrader's and Benson's cars, which are 6th and 7th. They all went to the University of Georgia together, so this is their homecoming, and they're going to have a pretty good finish today with both those cars. All right, Cracker Barrel 500 is set to go back to green.
Here we come. Hammer down. He spun the tires a little bit, Nadeau did, but he got off. All right, go! Got the 96. Andy Houston. Michael got in the back of him on the restart there. He spun him around. I don't think there'll be a caution.
Well,
he'll get going.
They're holding on the flag. Looks like we're going to stay green.
That's a tough place to be in for Houston. If you stay there, no caution, you lose a lap. If you take off again, no caution, you lose a lap.
There will be no caution. We'll stay green.
Michael got in the back of him. He shot up there. Michael did, and I don't know if maybe 96 car just didn't get going something.
If this race stays green, we'll stay with it all the way to the checkered flag on Fox. Here's Gordon battling Benson once again. That 24 Chevrolet of Jeff Gordon, presently 5th, picked up a spot from Benson that time.
His car seems to be one of the few that still likes that high line. The rest of them have all kind of tried to find the bottom. He's got that good high line and got that momentum off the corner. That's how Dale Earnhardt won the race here last fall. Beat Bobby Labonte off of 4 back to the line, running that high side.
Who do you like now, Darrell?
I like Gordon now.
Jerry Nadeau, Dale Jarrett, 1st and 2nd.
I'm liking him better every lap.
Couple car lengths apart.
He's got to get by these cats, and we're running out of time. A big old Big Ben is ticking away. Tick, 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 tick.
18 to go.
18 to go.
And he's 1.7 seconds back. What do you think, Larry?
I don't know. He's going to have to race these other guys. That's the thing. He's got 3 cars in front of him, including that 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. He gets way up high. Man, turn 2 almost scrapes that wall.
That just tells you how hard he's trying. I mean, he's using up every bit of the racetrack, trying to close down on the leaders.
All 3 of the Rick Hendrick-owned cars in the top 7 positions. Terry Labonte is 7th.
Yeah, and the old Iceman, he just kind of slipped himself up in there, didn't he?
There's the interval again. Gordon 1.7 back. Pretty constant.
Or is that Tony? Tony might be driving that car right now.
No, it's Terry.
Oh, it's Terry?
17 to go.
You looked in there lately?
It went by so fast I wasn't sure.
You don't have to sugarcoat it if you don't want to.
Check the interval back again.
One in car, 4 car, Jeff Gordon. He is the fastest right now. Look at him all over the rear bumper. The 8 car Dale Earnhardt Jr. Catching him one thing, getting by him another, though.
Boy, he's got to get by these cars pretty quick if he's going to have a shot at catching Nadeau. Dale Jr. really rocketed off of the second turn back here that time, Larry. I mean, he drove off and left Gordon.
But, you know, Jarrett's holding his own. Larry, is he holding for a late run, or is he giving it all he's got?
Well, what we got to remember, he's got older tires than anybody. Look at him down to the bottom right there. He's got older tires than anybody, and I think he is. He's trying not to abuse those tires. We heard earlier Todd Perry tell him, don't use that right front up. They're telling him how many laps to go. I think he's going to go after him here shortly.
Well, here's the whole thing. Boy, Nadeau just bobbled. Nadeau just bobbled in the middle of the corner there. Here's the whole thing. They would have come in on that last caution and gotten tires if they didn't think they were doing the right thing. They're happy with their car. They had a chance to put tires on it. They didn't. They know what they're doing.
And remember, the longer we run under green, the better Jarrett's car has been today.
It has been that way all day long. He is right on the rear bumper here, Jerry Nadeau now.
But by the same token, he can't mess around too long behind Nadeau because Harvick, Dale Jr., and Jeff Gordon are within a football field of each other.
They're there. They are within a second.
13 laps to go. 13.
Here we come.
Still turning about 8,700 down there.
Boy, the sun's getting bad. Getting down in the one now.
Old windshield's all pitted up. But you know what he sees? He sees that victory lane. He sees that checkered flag, and buddy, that'll clear up your vision in a hurry.
Now, there are your 2 leaders, Nadeau and Jarrett. They've got company. Harvick, Earnhardt Jr., Gordon.
That's all the top 5 cars right there.
5 cars, 12 laps to go.
We've been racing 3.5 hours, almost 500 miles, and we still got 5 cars here that could win the race. There ain't another form of racing in the world that can make that claim.
And next weekend, we head to NASCAR's oldest super speedway built for stock car racing, Darlington, South Carolina, for more of the same. What a season this has been.
If every other series in the world run 500 miles every Sunday, they'd have 3 cars running at the finish. 3 cars running.
Look at these cars. Everybody's running different lines. They're searching now. It's 11 laps to go. Where am I faster? Up high. Where am I better? Down low.
Well, that's that crew chief saying, come on, buddy, we're running out of time. They're counting them down here. We got 10 to go. If you got anything left, you better use it now.
Fastest car on the racetrack remains that number 8, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Boy, you can just see every now and then a car like the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place car get a huge shot, and they really close the gap.
This time around, it's Gordon who's quickest.
A lot of that has to do with where they are on the racetrack. You're getting a little help down the straightaway, getting a little draft, but it's really messing them up when they try to make a pass.
10 to go.
Richard Childress looking at Kevin Harvick.
Boy, here comes Harvick. Here comes Harvick. Man, he drove that thing in there, and he got back to the gas in a hurry. You watch him go down in the corner here. He's a little slower on the straightaway, seems like, than Jarrett is, but man, he drives it in there.
Jeff Gordon, oh, look, Terry Labonte the fastest this time. He's not with this group, though. He's behind them with no traffic right now.
His cornflakes have done got soft. He ain't got time to do anything.
Harvick is hustling up toward those 2 leaders, but does he have enough time? He seems to have a fast enough car.
He can really get into turn 3. That's where I see him making the big move. He really drives it into 3. You've heard the drivers talk about a little loose in 3 and 4, a little tight in 1 and 2. I believe that's where he is.
If Jarrett's got anything left, he can't wait because Harvick's going to be all over him. He's got to go after Nadeau now.
And I can't help but believe we talked about it earlier. Look at the run Harvick gets there in the 29 car off the corner. What happens when these cars get this close behind each other? You can catch them because of them taking the front downforce off. You can't go by them.
Dale Jarrett got up high off of turn 2 that time, got a lot of run down the back straightaway. He's trying the high line now, but he better not open that bottom up because here comes Harvick.
Boy, look at Harvick in the middle of the corner. Get under Dale Jarrett for 2nd place.
That's the last thing Dale Jarrett wanted to see was somebody up there racing him when he's trying to figure out how to set that Nadeau car up.
And that's the best thing Jerry Nadeau wanted to see is them 2 wide in his mirror. Harvick can't complete the pass.
Jarrett gets a great run off of 2. That high line, he's back in the throttle. He's pulling a lot of straightaway speed. Here comes Dale Jr. up on the outside of Harvick. Dale Jarrett's going to the bottom. He says, all right, I've played around here long enough. It's time to go.
Harvick's going to follow him in the 29 car.
Now watch
Jarrett for the lead.
And they touch at the start-finish line.
And around the outside.
Here comes
Three
Harvick.
wide.
3 wide. Here comes Dale Jr. They're all over each other now.
Junior's run was blocked by Jarrett. And Harvick not getting in to turn 3 as well that side.
Look at Gordon getting that run. Runs up on the back of Dale Earnhardt Jr. all the way up to the top of the racetrack.
I don't think Dale Jr. will get. Well, he's going to
3 wide.
Here we
Harvick
go.
the leader. Harvick eased it into 3 to get a good run off 4, and it got him the lead.
5 laps to go.
This is ingredients for a 5-car wreck. This is incredible.
Look at them. They're all over the place, high, low, and in the middle.
And Harvick clears Nadeau for the lead.
Dale Jarrett, he gets loose up there off turn 2, falls back and forth.
Jeff Gordon's up in the 3rd place. They go down in the 3rd turn. Gordon's going to go high on the outside. He's back in the gas. He's going to drive alongside Nadeau.
Junior on the bottom, can't do anything with Jarrett. Loosens up Jarrett.
Boy, Jarrett and Dale Jr. almost.
Now, remember, as Harvick's wife looks on, Delana.
Brand new wife, by the way.
That's right.
1 week old.
Now remember, Gordon owes Nadeau a favor. He's going to try to help push Jerry Nadeau to the lead. And Dale Jr. is out of it. Earnhardt has cut down a right front tire.
Burnt the right front tire off of that thing. Here comes Gordon to the underneath. He's going to come underneath Nadeau.
This is exactly what Harvick wants, though. These guys running side by side. Look at the distance he's done put on.
3 laps to go.
And right now, this is when, hey, buddy, let me go. I can win this race.
I thought last year's photo finish was a thriller. This may be better.
Well, here comes Heartbreak down pit road. I know we're watching the race. Dale Jr. down the pit road. Flat right front tire. Gordon goes into 2nd place. Harvick's got his work cut out for him now.
I don't know if you're sitting down at home, but there's 120,000 people on their feet here at Atlanta.
And here comes Jeff Gordon closing down on Harvick.
Kevin Harvick trying to become only the 5th driver in NASCAR history to win in only his 3rd Winston Cup start.
And I know Richard Childress has got to be jumping up and down with joy right now, no matter what happens.
And somewhere, too, must be Dale Earnhardt, because this is his car that Kevin Harvick is driving. The paint is different, the number's different. But not since Dan Gurney in 1963 at Riverside, California, as a driver won in his 3rd start.
Jeff Gordon's going to give it all he's got this turn. This time he's going to try to go down bottom. He's going to try to get down under him.
Gets a good run there in the middle of 3 and 4. They'll be coming for the white flag right here. 1 lap to go.
The Childress team trying to go to victory lane for the 2nd year in a row in this race.
We had a photo finish here last race. We're getting ready for another one, folks. Get up off your seats. Here they go.
For 2 in a row, trying to set him up.
Gordon's going to make the big move on the inside when they get down here to turn 3. Slow car might be in the way. Here he comes. He's going to drive it to the bottom.
Oh, Harvick's leaving a lot of bottom open.
The slow car is going to be in the way.
Just like a year ago, he's going to get him, though. He's going to get him.
Gordon got loose. It's Harvick.
Harvick by inches. Harvick by inches. Harvick by inches. What a race. What a finish.
How did Jeff Gordon hang on to that car that loose off turn 4?
Man.
We got him. Tell me we got him.
29 car. You got him, buddy. Harvick, you got him.
By 6/1000ths of a second.
All right. Nice job.
Look at this.
Man.
For the win.
That is ever so
6/1000ths of a second. A replay of a year ago with Dale Earnhardt and Bobby Labonte.
That's an incredible finish. What a job for that young man.
Somewhere up there, I think Dale's smiling.
And Dale is jumping up and down right now. Good job,
I
guys.
hope so.
Where is he? Aha.
Folks, this is Dale Earnhardt's car and team. And Kevin Harvick, the young man Richard Childress tapped, is doing a John Force down the front straightaway.
Hey, listen to the crowd. I mean, that's incredible.
Steve Burns.
With Richard Childress. Richard, what an emotional win. What does this afternoon mean to you?
Hard to say. I'm just thrilled. I kept praying for Dale to help us. He did.
Richard, I saw you say something to Danny Earnhardt, Dale's brother. What'd you say?
This is for Dale.
How special this is.
I'm telling you, I'm speechless. Just what this means to so many people. This is a win for this young man. It's the start of a great career for him, but it means so much to these people.
Look at Kevin Harvick as the fans saluted Dale with the number 3 on the 3rd lap. Kevin Harvick salutes him on the way to victory lane.
If I was him, I'd run that thing out of gas riding around here.
What could be more fitting? What could be more special? If you believe in storybook endings, folks, this is one for the books.
I'm telling you. I got a big old lump in my throat.
Here's our Team Monte Carlo winning moment as 2 of them battle to the line. And Harvick wins by 6/1000ths of a second. Look at Jeff Gordon there, a little loose coming off the corner as he shot past Brett Bodine. Right there, hung on to it. But that was the difference.
6/1000.
Watch
Look
this.
at this.
This is so close. Gordon's closing.
Had that run.
Boy, I tell you, if the finish line had been Talladega, he'd have got him. But.
And here's the crew looking on as they came to the line.
Chocolate Myers right there, been with Dale for 100 years. All these guys, this means so much to them.
They think they did. They think they did.
I'm sure they wondered if they'd ever win another race after Dale was gone, but they have answered that question big time today. Look at Chocolate. Chocolate there was really one of folks. People around this racetrack are all in tears. I mean, they're just so.
So are folks up here.
Crews are coming out and congratulating him. This is like when Dale won the Daytona 500.
It is. Look, there's not a team that isn't down there represented that isn't congratulating.
The crowd still cheering him on. Pit crew members from other teams running down to congratulate Kevin Harvick. 25 years old in only his 3rd Winston Cup race, and the weight of taking over the car of a legend on his shoulders. And Harvick has responded with a great photo finish win.
Well, I know when Dale won the Daytona 500, everybody really just was so happy for him. I don't know that this isn't it's a different kind of situation, but the same jubilation.
And Richard Childress, Kevin Hamlin, those guys picked up the pieces, tears in their eyes, and have moved forward and doing what Dale Earnhardt wanted them to do back in victory lane.
Whatever you do, stay off the roof, they said.
They inspect the roof height after the race. That's why they told him that.
Jump up, down on the hood, but don't jump up, down on the roof.
Danny Lawrence, longtime Childress engine tuner, one of the first to congratulate Harvick.
What a moment. This is an incredible moment in our sport.
The crowd has grown somewhat silent, waiting to erupt as Kevin Harvick comes out of that car. The tributes to Dale Earnhardt are everywhere around this speedway, but the greatest tribute is the man behind the wheel of that 29 car right now.
I've said it time and time again, a legacy is not about what you did while you were there. It's about what happens after you're gone.
Good job. Awesome.
Matt Yoakum's in the midst of all that.
Tears and jubilation in victory lane. Hugs by everybody. Kevin Harvick, a very special and emotional win. Did you ever script your first career win like this?
I don't know how you could script it any different. As everybody can know, I'm sure this is going to be pretty difficult for all of us, but none of us expected this soon, and the unfortunate circumstances, and all I got to say is this one's for Dale.
Take us on the pass for the lead and the win.
I mean, the car was tight, and I didn't really know if we could do it, or but we never give up, because that's the attitude of this RCR team, and it's Goodwin Chevrolet was good all day long, and we just kind of bided our time, and I think somebody was watching over us.
A very emotional win. Let's go to Dick with Jeff Gordon.
You're not ordinarily satisfied with second place, but given the outcome of today, is second place okay?
As much as I want to get excited about our second place run and how great our team did, I got to congratulate Kevin Harvick and that whole Richard Childress team. I mean, what an emotional victory for them, and it's obvious that somebody's watching over us right now, and that was just a great battle. He did what he needed to do to win the race. He drove a great race. He's aggressive, he's smooth, and that team gave him a good car, and he made the move. He took him 3 wide and got the lead, and that was the move of the race right there that won it for him. And I was a little bit better than him, but I didn't think I could even get up beside him. We come off turn 4, and I got to the bottom, pulled the Bobby Labonte move, and got up there, and for some reason that Goodwrench car just it doesn't know how to lose here on the last lap.
Did it remind you of last year? Was that on your mind as you came around on that last lap?
Well, I wasn't in that battle, so it didn't remind me of it, but they've got a good setup for this place, and I'm just doing everything that I could. I didn't have a car that could get by him on the top, so I said, well, I got to go to the bottom and try to get some momentum. I was surprised I even got it beside him. I just got to say thanks to everybody with DuPont and Pepsi and Quaker State, GMAC, Chevrolet, and Goodyear. This team is just, man, they are flawless right now. We did have a little problem today, but we rebounded from it thanks to Jerry, my teammate, and Robbie, and these guys are just doing an awesome job. It's neat to be able to go out there and drive these types of race cars.
And we thank you for a great show today. Mike Joy.
Thanks, Dick. It's another clean sweep for Chevrolet. Top 3 positions, Harvick, Gordon, and Nadeau, as you have a look down through the results, and we're still trying to catch our breath.
Well, I tell you, he says somebody's watching over him. We know who it is, and it's Dale Earnhardt. We have not had a green flag lap yet with the 3rd lap. We've been under caution every time. That's Dale, and this is Dale today. His presence is being felt even now, and it feels good to know he's still a part of this.
Well, you think about that. Just the big heartbreak of the day, though, was Dave Blaney led all those laps. Looked like nobody could catch him. Ends up 34th position after the left rear tire runoff.
If you believe in storybook finishes, this was your day. Kevin Harvick, a winner for Richard Childress Racing, driving for the team with which Dale Earnhardt had done so well. Well, Jeff Gordon led the most laps today, and thus he is our Winston Cup point leader for the first time since the 1999 Daytona 500. Jeff Gordon's in front, Dale Jarrett. How about Johnny Benson there in 3rd? What could top this? How about Darlington?
Oh, Darlington will be exciting. I tell you, these cars and these drivers right now are putting on I've never seen racing like this, and it's so fun to be a part of it and watching it and calling it.
I said there was no way we could have a better race than Rockingham. They just keep getting better. I can't wait to Darlington.
This could well be the best Winston Cup season ever. You're going to see the whole first half of it on the Fox family of networks, your new home for NASCAR.
Pretty nice trophy you got there, young man.
Pretty nice check, too.
Pretty nice.
For all of us at Fox Sports, we congratulate Kevin Harvick and Richard Childress Racing on a great win in Atlanta. See you in Darlington next week.